Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Wadau VP, welcome to this awesome conversation we are about to have. Karibuni sana, karibu sana to this show. Welcome to this fantastic evening show here at Afrique. Asante sana. Ni juzi unatutazama ukiwa wapi? Show yako ndo hii nayo imeanza. Welcome to this fantastic show. Asante sana. Ninayo show fiti moja kali. This one you must love. This one you must love. It will be more mambo kotini kotini we wadau, karibuni sana, nijuzeni mnantazama mkiwa wapi hapo kwa comment section. Invite a friend, and above all, happy new year. Welcome to this show, welcome to this conversation we are about to have just about now. Karibu sana, welcome very much, ladies and gentlemen, people from all over. Karibuni. I have a great show lined up for you. We are about to discuss quite a lot. Mambo kibao, mambo kibao. Leo prezo amewaka, amekasirika yake yote. Hey, today Ruto was very angry. The president was annoyed. He was smoking hot. Alikuwa anamwaga mitutu ya asira kwa waumini na waombelezaji pale Jambini, county ya Nyandarua. I'll be telling you more about that because this show has been informed by that burial ceremony that took place today. Of course, condolences to the family of Senator Nyandarua. But where, hey, ladies and gentlemen, hii ndio inaitwa fireworks. I thought zilikuwa zinaisha 31st, but zinaendelea kuendelea. The president is not taking any casualties. Anahakikisha ana fire from all cylinders. This guy is now very angry. He has decided, you know what, kama mbaya mbaya. Lakini zaidi ya yote, allow me to begin like this. Happy New Year, ladies and gentlemen. Here at Africa 24, we wish you a happy New Year to you and your family. To you and your family, we wish you health, we wish you wealth, we wish you new blessings to count each day in 2024. Happy New Year to you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you are well. I hope you are just but fantastic. I know you are well, and I hope you are doing well. Asante sana. Karibu sana kwa hii show. This is your show. This is your evening's edition. Karibu tu sana. We are about to discuss quite a lengthy discussion, as much as what we will be able to in the couple of hours that we will have this show. But zaidi ya yote ni juzi unatazama ukiwa wapi, karibisha wawili watatu kwa kulike, kwa kushare, kwa kusubscribe to Afrique 24. Asante sana wale ambao huwa mnatutazama, asante ambao huwa mnatufuatilia. Thank you for the numbers that are growing every day exponentially. Asante tu sana. You guys have made us great, and thank you very, very much. We have a show and a half. We have a show and a half today. The president has unleashed war on the judiciary. There is war brewing. Kuna mambo makali ambayo ina happen. The president has decided, you know what? Hey, it's no longer business as usual. Amtaishi kunipeleka kotini na kusimamisha mamiradi. You not keep on disturbing my pet projects ati kidogo kidogo mko kotini ati nimeanzisha hii kidogo kidogo mmekimbia kotini, ati I begin this one mmeleta injunction, mmeleta petition. Mother comment team, mumeambiwa mumekuja sana, na juu mmekuja sana, the president has decided, you know what, hey, nitafanya sasa as the president. Today hata issue barabara fulani iendelee. Ilikuwa imepelekwa kotini kwa sababu alisema hiyo barabara itaitafia na wildlife nini. So someone went to court and an injunction and a stop order was given to that road. I'll be telling you which road that is but the president today amesema, you know what, hey, hiyo road ijengwe na si kesho na si tafadhali The president today was not taking any casualties. I'm telling you, leo amefanya ile kitu. Rais ameamua, unajua ni aje? Martha comment crew, mumeuka muno, mumekuja sana, and I have to show you, I am the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. The president sworn in constitutionally. The president was sworn in, constitutionally to head one arm of the government. Hey, the executive arm has spoken. What will the judiciary do? Alisema alipewa sword, and of course alipewa mbele ya none other than the Chief Justice of Kenya. Alipewa mbele ya majudges wote. So he's now saying, you know what? It's about time. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this fantastic show. And as I've told you, this one is going to be one to watch. This will be interesting. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. And we are about to have great fun on this show. I'm about to invite my panelists to join me, but as well, I'll be telling you how you can join us. But today, Ruto has unleashed anger against the courts, against the judges in Kenya, na wale ambao wana tabia ya kwenda kotini. Akina Okiya Mtata, they were told now it's time to use the sword that he was given. The sword will be used. And now he has equally said, you know what? Sasa kama mbaya, I must do my duties. Okay? Listen in even as I prepare to bring in my panelist. Leo, skiza hii.
Mjadala na watu ambao wanapeleka makesi kotini kuzuia maendeleo katika taifa letu la Kenya. Itabidi tuulizane maswali. Ni kweli ama si kweli? Yes, itabidi tuulizane maswali. Haiwezekani ya kwamba Kenya, maendeleo ambayo tumekuwa tukingojea miaka nyingi, mipango ambayo iko katika katiba ya Kenya, mipango imepitishwa katika bunge la Kenya, mipango ambayo wananchi wa Kenya wamepigia kura katika manifesto ya chama wamechagua, ati watu wachache, wawili watatu, wameenda kotini, wakahongana kotini, mpango hiyo ikasimamishwa. Barabara ikasimamishwa, universal health coverage inasimamishwa, mambo ya housing inasimamishwa. Lazima tuulizane, lazima tuwe na mjadala. We must ask ourselves, ama namna gani? Yes, lazima tuulizane maswali. Na ndio mimi nataka niseme, we are a democracy. We respect, we will protect the independence of the judiciary. What we will not allow is judicial tyranny and judicial impunity. That we will not allow. That will not happen. Haiwezekani ya kwamba wakati tunaheshimu uhuru wa mahakama, watu wachache, watu ambayo ni beneficiaries, kama wale beneficiaries ambao wamekuwa wakiiba pesa yetu pale NHIF, 50% ya pesa ya NHIF zinafujwa na mahospitali chache, wakora chache, fake hospitals, fake doctors, wanafuja pesa ya NHIF. Tumesema ya kwamba tunabadilisha sheria. Hawa wabunge wamebadilisha sheria. Mimi nimeweka kidole, imekuwa sheria ya Kenya, kwamba sasa tutabadilisha vile mambo ya NHIF inaenda mbele, ili tuzuie pesa ya umma isipotee. Tukawa na digital health bill ambayo sasa itaweka a digital system that will protect resources that are meant for health in Kenya. Alafu watu wachache ambao wamekuwa wakiiba hiyo pesa, wameenda wakatafutana na corrupt judicial officials, wakapanga njama ati wazuie ndio waendelee kuiba pesa ya NHIF, nusu ya pesa ya NHIF. I want to tell you my friends, hiyo haiwezi kuendelea. Sijui kama tunaelewana. Mimi nataka niwaulize, mnataka pesa ya hospitali iendelee kuibiwa na watu wachache ati kwa sababu wameenda kotini kwenda kuhonga judge? Bana. No. Hiyo hapana. Hawa watu mimi nataka niwatangazie mapema ya kwamba mambo ya watu wachache, people with vested interest, people who are beneficiaries of the corruption in the former NHIF, ganging up with corrupt judicial officials to stall the program that is going to make it possible for ordinary citizens to access health care, so that a few corrupt characters, hospitals, fake doctors, can continue to steal from NHIF. I want to tell them it will not happen in Kenya again. And we will stop it. We support the independence of the judiciary, but corrupt judicial officials working with those who vested interests that are benefiting from money stolen from NHIF, who want to perpetuate judicial tyranny and judicial impunity, we will deal with them. We will fight with them. We will not allow them. They will not go far. Mimi nataka niwatangazie mapema. Mimi ni mtu ambaye naamini mahakama. I respect the judiciary. I respect the independence of the judiciary. But I also believe that the judiciary cannot be abused by a few corrupt judicial officials. Imagine, niwaulize, hata wale watu wako mahakamani, niwaulize, katiba ya Kenya, Article 43, inasema inalazimu serikali kuprovide housing that is decent to citizens. Inalazimu serikali kuprovide the highest standards of healthcare. Inalazimu serikali kupanga ajira ya vijana wa Kenya. Katiba ya Kenya. Hawa wa Kenya, mamilioni, walienda kwa debe, wakapigia kura manifesto ambayo iko na program ya housing, iko na program ya universal health coverage, iko na program ya ajira ya vijana. Bunge wakaenda wakapitisha budget, iko na mpango ya housing, iko na mpango ya universal health coverage, iko na mpango ya kupanga ajira ya vijana. Ati alafu watu wachache ambao ni beneficiaries ya ukora wanaenda kotini, wanaenda kutaka kusimamisha hiyo kazi yote, ati vijana wetu waendelee kurandaranda wasipate ajira. Ati wa Kenya tusiwapunguzie hawa wenye mapato ya chini kutoka 500 mpaka 300, waendelee kulipa 500 na wao.
Hey, President leo amefanywa ile kitu, amewaka kuwaka, hataki jokes. You remember wakati Uhuru Kenyatta alikuwa anafanya hizo, what do you call them? Alikuwa anakataa kusikiza makoti and all. Hey. Sasa ndio hii inamlamba sasa. Ndio hii inamlamba. And he's saying, you know what? We respect the judiciary, but judicial impunity by corrupt judicial officials must stop in Kenya. We will stop it. Whatever it takes. Liwalo na liwe. President leo hacheki na mtu. Today ametoa miguu, the proverbial miguu kwa gunia. Leo asira ameitoa. Today his anger was almost palpable. You could feel him spewing anger to the mourners. All right, karibu sana kwa hii show. Let me know what you make of the president's anger today. Leo hacheki na majaji. Majaji have been stopping his projects. Everyone has been going to court. Anaanza hii kotini. Now he has told them, you know what? You guys mumekuwa mkinichezea. I'll stop you whatever it takes. Hataki jokes. What do you make of his sentiments? He's not joking with anyone. Alisema juzi ya kwamba mumekuwa mkisabotage his project. Now he's saying, you know what? Hey, whatever it takes. Liwalo naliwe. Mr. G, how are you? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well.
I'm fine, sir. How are you?
Niko fantastic. Karibu sana. Happy New Year to you, my brother.
Happy New Year too.
Aha, karibu sana. Just one moment, allow me to invite many kwa show kupitia link ambayo nimekutumia hapo kwa comment section. Hiyo ndio link inakuingisha hapa kwa show. Let us discuss, what do you make of the president's threats to the judiciary, to the courts, and above all to the many to the plaintiffs that go to the courts to complain. What do you make of it? In fact, he said akona sword, mfanye fujo muone. What do you make of it? So that is what we are discussing tonight. The president is not taking any casualties in as far as kumpeleka peleka kotini is concerned. As well, Uganda wamepeleka Kenya kotini. I'll be telling you all about that in just a short while. I'm telling you, it's almost a court edition. Ni makesi tu hapa kule, makesi tu. Their Roll and Kimorel case is back. I'll be telling you how. So leo ni sijui tuite makesi show. So leo ni makesi, na kesi ya kwanza ni hii ya Urezo ambayo he is kinda not happy. He's not a happy man because of the courts stalling all projects. Wameenda wamesimamisha housing levy, wameenda wamesimamisha the SHIF, that is the Universal Health Cover Fund, wameenda walimsimamishia the CAS, those 51 CASs ambao walikuwa wamechagua, most of the things zimeenda zimesimamishwa. Hey, now the president anasema hata nyinyi bwana mumekuja sana. mumekuja sana. All right. Sorry, I just felt excited about this, because this is the war on the judges edition. We are discussing Ruto's anger on what he termed as judges turning rogue. He turned the judges turning rogue, and that's what we are about to discuss just about now, with many who are joining me. But of course, the first one on the deck is Mr. G. Not to discuss here, that the president has said he respects judiciary, but they must stop being corrupt. He has called it judicial impunity through corrupt judicial officials. Of course, officers up, and they are the judges who put a guard on him. So he has said, we will stop it whatever happens. Liwalo na liwe, wacha liwe. Bwana G, what do you make of this?
You know, Mr. Jakes, I'm afraid that this may divert our show to another direction, but maybe let me hope that to stick to what we are talking today. Because when you see the guy, the regime, the Roger regime that talks about intimidating courts, wanajua sasa he's taking us back to what used to happen. Unakumbuka wakati wa Uhuru, that time ambayo who was he? The CJ was the Kissy man, CJ.
Maraga.
Nullify that case. Yeah, Maraga, nullify the case. Wakati nullify the case, Ruto Uhuru walikasirika sana. And they started, wakaanza kumwambia kwanza, we will revisit. You know, wangemwacha vile alikuwa anaendelea na kesi yake hivyo, akacancel hiyo kesi na akastick to what he believed in. Hata kwanza hiyo nini ingefanyika, that election ingefanyika. Kwa sababu tunapata, nothing was changed. Na hapo ndo wakati ambapo baba alipeana ultimatum. After kupeana ultimatum, hakuna anything ambayo ilikuwa followed. Lakini kwa sababu ile intimidation from Uhuru, jamaa akaamua to be a victim, na akaruhusu kila kitu kafanyika vile alikuwa anataka ifanyike. So this is just a strategy that Ruto is trying to use, and this is something that have been used long ago. Sasa it's just a strategy to intimidate these judges. Actually intimidate judges, wataanza kuogopa na watamruhusu ku corrupt everything that he wants to do, na atafanya anything ambayo anataka kufanya. Look at this, Mr. Jakes. You know, he's talking about ati our katiba inamwambia yeye kama president and the government kupatiana good house and is it affordable house, alafu zile about decent to wananchi wa Kenya, si ndio? That is katiba that talks about that, si ndio? And we will also tell him that it is the same katiba ambayo anaongelea ambao inaruhusu election to be transparent. Mbona hii government haitaki that election, the 2022 election, ifanyiwe nini edit, ifanyiwe forensic edit so that we can know what really happened. It is our katiba ambayo inaturuhusu for transparency. So when he talks about transparency, when he talks about katiba kuruhusu housing, he should also know that pia sisi kuna mahali ambayo ametukazia kule na ni koti ambayo inafaa isimamie hizo vitu. So anyway, what I'm trying to say ni kuwa the guy is trying to intimidate these judges. Akishawa intimidate, hakuna kitu yote ambayo ataweza kufanya, itabidi wawe victim kwake. Wakishakuwa victim ndio atafanya kila kitu vile anataka. This is a guy ambaye tunamjua kwa apende apende kuwa control. He doesn't like being controlled. Sasa anaona ni kama anakuwa intimidated wakati koti inasimama na ukweli, wakati koti inasimama na msimamo yake. So ni jamaa anatry this strategy just to intimidate people. Yeah.
All right. Shikilia tu hapo. I love your opening remarks. I'll be coming to you with very many questions. But wadau wa Kenya wazalendo, we are discussing the anger showcased today. The president today hakuwa anacheka na wadhi, hakucheka na mtu. He was saying, you know what? It's about time I deal with these people. You know, mumenisimamishia everything. If I can impersonate him, mumenisimamishia everything. Housing levy mumesimamisha. You know, mumeniondolea CAS. What do we call these guys? The CAS. Naitwaje hawa jamaa? Hawa manaibu wa mawaziri wakatolewa, waliambiwa they are unconstitutional. Wakatolewa wote, wengi wakafurushwa. There were about 50 of them, wakakuwa removed. But now William Ruto says mumesimamisha everything. Barabara hamtaki zijengwe, hospitali hamtaki watu waende bila malipo. Now because of that, I'm going to stop whatever it takes. By all means, nitawasimamishia this what he has termed rogue judicial officers. In fact, he has described them as judicial impunity. He has described that as judicial impunity. Okay, so pia tuko na leo Nyabaya ako ndani na pia Mr. G na wengi ambao mnajiunga nasi, tujuze kwa comment section what is your take concerning what William Ruto is saying. Naona wengi mnatuma ujumbe zenyu. Laban Masani unasema no three arm of government, ni one man Zakayo on the deck. Okay, namwona Richard Relay anasema Ruto muongo kabisa. Let me see. Naona Gideon anasema judiciary is getting it on its feet family, kila mtu achunge line yake. Labda anasema katiba kando, one man show, tawala Kenya Ruto. Wambogo Joseph anasema yeah, we cannot have, hata hii ni project ndio tusome pamoja, anasema we cannot have courts which do not appreciate public opinion. Sawa, maoni kinzani kwa Wakenya jioni ya leo. We are discussing the issues ambazo zimekuwa raised by none other than William Ruto concerning what the judges wamekuwa wakisimamisha most of his projects. What do you make of it? He is unable to make any step forward or backward. Kila mahali amepata gag order. Silver Shines unasema courts watawekwa mfuko. Caleb Ndolo nasema Kenya Kenya muliuzia Ruto. Wadau, I don't know what is your take, but tujuze hapo kwa comment section so as to participate in this show, to join us in the show as well. Unatumia link ambayo nimekuwekea hapo kwa comment section. Inaingia kupitia Jex Digital, Afrique 24, True TV, Mtembei TV, bwana Godfrey mwenyewe amekuwekea hiyo link. Voices of Innocent wamekuwekea link. Afrique 24 Facebook wamekuwekea link. Leo Nyabaya YouTube, Leo Nyabaya Facebook, all those channels. Ukiona hiyo link unajiunga nasi hapa kwa comment section na pia kwa show yenyewe. Tujuze, what is your feeling? What do you understand when Ruto says he will deal with these people firmly? Hataki jokes. Hataki jokes na judges. Judges wa mahakama wamekuwa wakimfanyia ile kitu. Now he says, you know what? Hata nyinyi mumekuja sana. Mumekuja sana. Bwana Leo Nyabaya, what do you make of the president's threat today to the judges? He seems not to be afraid to take the bull by the horns. He's not afraid to address Kome and the judges. Anawaambia, mnajua nyinyi watu bana, hamwezi shinda mkinisimamishia kila kitu. Now he's almost becoming a don't care president. What do you make of his sentiments today? But above all, welcome to the show. Happy New Year to you, my brother.
Thank you, Jex. Greetings, Mr. G.
Yourself,
and sorry, Mr. G and the viewers. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Hatukusikii leo?
Yeah. You are audible. Nakusikia vizuri sana.
You are not audible.
Yeah, I'm really wondering, bana. It's the second day of the year, Jex, for you to
leo
start using.
All right.
Jex,
Even as we
Mr. G, can you hear me?
This is what we are discussing,
yes,
ladies and gentlemen. The war on
then...
judges. The war on judges is about to get tough, interesting, and very intriguing. This is something you must stick around to watch and see. Kuna barabara tayari imeamuriwa leo ianze. Housing levy ilikuwa imepewa mpaka January 15th. I don't know what happens. I think itaendelea. So Wakenya, tuko nadhani courts will be our citadel of justice. Hapo tutakuwa tunatorokea, but president amesema mnajua ni aje, hata huko bwana kuna venye. So Mkenya utapotelea wapi sasa? Kotini wameambiwa hizi injunctions zenyu zimekuwa too much. So it is already a war on the Kenyan judges. Ni kugwang kudanger. Leo, I don't know if you are now ready. You are still muted.
Jex, can you hear me?
We cannot hear you, Leo. You to log out to log in. Leo,
you cannot hear me.
And there you have a very good gadget.
Maybe somebody can confirm. I think I'm.
Why is the president so angry? Hello, can you hear me? Oh my.
Sorry, Mr. Jex, we can hear you clearly.
I can hear you, sir.
Okay, sorry.
I can hear you, sir.
I can hear you. I don't know why.
Sorry, I have seen where the problem was. Now I can hear you and I can hear everyone else. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Are you able to hear?
We can hear you.
Pole. Nilikuwa nimekanyanga mitambo waya, lakini sasa pole sana. I think I was trying to help hear you, badala ni mute myself, mute the entire recording. So pole ni sana. But go ahead. How are you, my brother? Good to see you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Jex. I'm really fine. I thank God for giving us an opportunity to see this 2024. It's really grateful, despite the tough times that we've seen for the last 1 year in the Kenya Kwanza regime. We still have to thank God for the gift of life. So I've seen a lot have happened. This is the second day of the year, and what I can tell you that what is happening was meant to happen. It's just that people buried their heads and they assumed that things were okay. Allow me start with what happened with the meeting that was proposed to be done by the former Mungiki leader the bishop. I don't know if he's still a bishop. Actually, he got salvation and became a bishop. Maina Njenga. There are some youths that were arrested in Mount Kenya, and they associated them to be members of Mungiki. So this is what I want to tell those youths who are arrested and people who are talking about them. These are the same youths that when the current regime wanted votes, they branded them and called them hustlers, because they were youths who were supposed to be used to get votes. So whenever they needed them to get votes, they called them hustlers, and they promised them 1,000,000 jobs. So now a year has ended. These guys have not seen the 1,000,000 jobs that they were promised. So it is time that the government knows very well they are now going to ask the government to give them the 1,000,000 jobs. So they're now asking, where are the 1,000,000 jobs that you promised us as hustlers? And because the government cannot be able to fulfill the promise, cannot be able to give them the 1,000,000 jobs, so they're now giving them a new name. They are calling them Mungiki. They are outlawing them. So they are no longer hustlers. They've now been called Mungiki, and this one is going to place them for vulnerable for police brutality. Some of them are going to be arrested illegally. And actually, if you go by what happened in after 2008 elections, you'll find that some of them lost lives. Some innocent Kikuyu youths lost their lives by being branded Mungiki. So the same youths were used in 2007 campaigns after campaigns in the name of protecting Kibaki and his votes. And when Kibaki was not able to fulfill the promises, they were branded Mungiki, and most people lost their lives. The same way they were branded hustlers, and when the hustler government is not able to accommodate them, they've started branding them Mungiki. And most of them, you'll find that they are going to lose their jobs. The same people, if you can remember 2017 elections, after the elections when the NASA by then called for some demonstrations. The current CS, Moses Kuria, called for a counter demonstration and branded the same youths with long hair. I don't want to describe the hair beyond, and branded them Nairobi Business Community. So they were branded Nairobi Business Community. So these are the same youth. They've always changed name depending with the services that the government wants from them. So when they wanted them to counter the NASA demonstrations, they were called Nairobi Business Community. When they wanted they were called Hustler. Now that they cannot fulfill the promises, they've been given a new name and they are Mungiki. Secondly, on the matters of judiciary, these guys are also facing the same thing. You know, this guy campaigned and said that the judiciary is not going to be used badly. They are going to allow judiciary to be independent. They are going to appoint the judges that were never appointed by Uhuru. He played to be an angel. He was doing this so that he can put these people under his pocket so that they can be able to dance and do whatever he expected them to do. He knew very well that judiciary is the only body that is going to stand against him, because already he had plans to take the National Assembly. And remember, party leader of Ford Kenya is the Speaker of the National Assembly. The party leader of that coastal party, I can't remember its name because it wasn't that serious, is the Speaker of the Senate. So these are politicians who are playing the roles of a referee in the major houses. So by doing so, these parties are members of Kenya Kwanza. They will always drive the agenda of Kenya Kwanza. They will always be loyal to Kenya Kwanza leader. So he knew very well the parliament is dead. That is both the National Assembly and the Senate. Now the only thing is judiciary. So he's now telling them, guys, I'm the one who appointed you. So why is it that you are going against me? So I think by the time judiciary was celebrating that this man has done them great, they did not know that their time to pay is coming back. And now it is when their head is needed. Their head has to be served. So I don't know, it's things that are gonna be tough with them. Judiciary, I can see Odhiambo Brian is also reminding you there that the judiciary is not corrupt, but Article 175 mentioned above. So the judiciary, actually, we are having a lot of issues with the judiciary. We are not saying that the entire judiciary is corrupt, but we are having some corrupt members in judiciary. We've seen what happens. It is not. It didn't start today. It started with the time when we had people like Gladys Boss Sholay at the helm of judiciary as a registrar there. We had people like Ahmed Nasir, this flamboyant lawyer. So the judiciary that we're having in Kenya needs some we need to overhaul. We need some overhaul in the current judiciary. Judiciary that is partisan to the executive, that is a judiciary that Kenyans cannot have their hopes on. So what we are
Okay.
praying is that the president has now transferred the lies from the nation and have now gone international, giving the way give some roadside declaration that the NHIF and people are going to be paid, treated free. He also gave the same that starting January mwaka huu, Kenya is going to be a visa free. In contact with a friend from a foreign country who expected to visit Kenya, was waiting for that visa free, only to see notification that it has been indefinitely suspended. So that is how liars behave. But the good thing is that the lifespan of a lie is really short. So things are going to
Okay.
catch up with Ruto as we wait for 2027. A lot is going to happen. We should prepare for drama. He's a content creator. We should prepare for more content. Yeah. And as the people of media, you should prepare to be able to bring this content so that the fellow Kenyans can be able to consume it. I think with all those many remarks, I'll have to stop there and wish everyone a happy new year and a prosperous 2024. And let's hope things are going to change.
Well, you have gone all over. I even don't know where to begin from with you, but allow me first to go to Mr. G. Mr. G, this is a president who said akiingia tu hivi kwa ofisi, the first thing atafanya ni appoint the judges who are left by Uhuru, who are never sworn in, the 6 of them. Akisema pia akiingia tu hivi ataachilia the fund, you know, the judicial fund, so that judges wajicontrol. Akasema kwamba pia hata control majudges watakuwa na uhuru wa control themselves because it is an independent arm of government. Now, Mr. G, why do you think he's now going back to those words? He today was firing from all cylinders. Hata of course pia kwa New Year's speech, Ali mentioned something like this. What do you make of him now? Has he turned his war to the judges and to the court?
Okay, one thing that I can say, the guy is a double stick person, and you know him very well. Ni mtu ambaye ataongea leo kitu fulani na kesho anaongea kitu fulani. So he's a double stick person. He's a person that you cannot take serious because of how he believes, the policies that he makes, and everything that he does. So the main thing that I can say at the moment is that he's trying to intimidate these people. You know, when they started with the issue ya budget, finance bill, unajua ni kote ambazo ilistopisha. So he had his own agenda on that on that bill na ikachelewesha na court, na ameendelea kufanya things that are not right, yani vitu ambavyo haziko constitutional, na hivyo hivyo pia court sometimes imesimama vizuri ikipinga hizo vitu zake. So he sees it as ni kama inazuia sasa yeye kufanya kazi yote, kila kitu ambacho anajaribu kufanya inazuiliwa, and yet most of the things that he's doing ni against the constitution. That's why the court are stopping these things, kama vitu za house levy, even though ilikuwa kwa manifesto sawa, but the channel he's using ndio inasema inamaanisha kuwa it is a constitutional, kwa sababu court zimezuia. But now he's not getting it well with how courts that treat this issue. That's why he's trying just to intimidate them so that he can perform what he want to do. Hawa watu ni majambazi, wamejazana pale, wanataka kuiba. Sasa court inajabu kuwazuia, anakasirika, ndio anakasirika sahi. This is a guy ambao he's a president. He's talking about a judge ati amekuwa corrupted. If a judge amekuwa amehongiwa, why can't he go straight to the judge amshike kama he has evidence kwa judge amehongiwa? You know, this guy alihonga wale majudges wa Supreme Court wakakuwa bias on our case. Sasa na believe kila wakati ni hivyo hivyo. He just believe in hongering kwa sababu ni mtu ambaye anapenda hiyo mambo ya kuhonga watu.
All right, interesting. Now, I don't know if this was a script because even before the president spoke, Ishongwa and Akinandende Nyoro had already raised the flags on this topic. And this was Ishongwa moments before the president spoke. Listening to what Ishongwa had to say, just in
how our judicial officers to be used by the economic saboteurs, those who want to sabotage that endeavor to ensure that we have collective economic prosperity. Let me ask our judicial officers not to allow themselves to be used by the cartels that are sabotaging the housing program, the program to ensure that all Kenyans access universal health coverage. Wale ambao wako kotini, Mheshimiwa Rais, ni wale ambao wamekuwa wakinufaika na uporaji wa pesa kutoka mpango wa NHIF, ndio wameweka makesi kotini. Wale wengine unasikia wale Ndindi Nyoro wameongea juu yao hapa. The masters and architects of state capture, wale ambao walidhani ya kuwa Wakenya wataishi milele na milele kama slaves, wao na familia zao, they are the ones today who are pushing the sabotage of the housing agenda. And Your Excellency, I said the other day, and they sent all their social media teams to descend on me, but I want to tell them today, Your Excellency, mimi hakuna mtu wa kunitukana kwa social media anaweza fanya nikose kukuambia ukweli. If through state capture wewe ulifanya a Chinese contractor ajenge nyumba 2,000, zaidi ya 2,000 affordable housing on private land, as we have been told, through state capture, Kenha, a state agency, inaenda kujenga barabara on private land, ili wewe ujenge your own private city, Wakenya waendelee kuwa tenants on your land. Your Excellency, I want to ask you, do not relent, never relent on the endeavor to ensure that the housing agenda becomes a reality. Those who are ahead of you, courtesy of state capture, sabotage that program so that they benefit themselves and their families. Your Excellency, you are now the architect of that third dispensation of our country to ensure that we have socio and economic justice to all Kenyans.
Now, let me pause him there. Bwana G, was this a script prepared? Because I'll play what Ndindi Nyoro said. I'll play most of what MP said. It's like they had a meeting somewhere and they said, kwa hii funeral, what we will discuss will be the judges. Judges here,
Yeah.
judges there. Courts, what they do here, courts there. Is it something that KK government now will be pursuing as we go forward in 2024? Matters court, matters ruling by these judges, any injunction, anything that has been stopped by court. Is it something that this government 2024, is it something we're going to be seeing? Because Ishongwa, this was moments before the president. He was like the curtain raiser. Alikuja kaanzisha, and then the president just took a cue from this. What do you make of this now?
You know, Mr. Jakes, this is just a script. I want to call Anaketi, and then they discuss. Remember, at the moment, he's talking about state capture. And imagine this government, the Roger government, the one about a capture state. Sai, what is happening, Sai? This data state capture, and when happen kwao. Sasa they are trying to divert. Unajua waliketi wakaangalia uongo wao hauendi mahali. So there's nothing they can sell again ya uongo. So they are trying to drag again Uhuru back to their things. You know, they have tried all along could drag Uhuru kwa kila kitu ambao wanafanya na drag Uhuru. Kwa kila kitu ambao wanafanya na drag Uhuru. But people are not buying their lies. Sasa they are talking about state capture, and yet state capture ni wao ndo wameishika sasa vizuri. Everything is done by Ruto. Every decision is made by Ruto. Mpaka kwa parliament, anything inaenda kupeleka kwa parliament is Ruto ambaye anafanya ndio iende ipeleke kwa parliament. Our CS, the cabinet secretaries, there is nothing they can do mpaka Ruto awambie ende ufanye kitu fulani, and it is the state capture ambayo imeshika moto sahi, and they are trying to divert it kwa ipeleke kwa Uhuru ili Uhuru aonekane kuwa bado ni mbaya, and yet people are not buying those lies. So it is a script. Waliketi wakaongea wakasema leo wacha twende tuseme hivi, wacha twende tuwagonge hivi, and yet this thing is not working. It is not working.
Well, Bwana Leo, is it a script that now we should get used to, that they stopped attacking Raila Odinga, now they have gone to courts, they are now attacking one judges? Of course, they said judges will have the independence they need. They even allowed funds, the judicial funds, for them to control and manage themselves. Now he's after judges. The other thing aliacha ikakuwa independent ni police. If police today will act differently, will we see him still go after them? Because but anyway, what do you make? Was it a script that the KK government prepared today, that today to attack judges?
Jax, I do believe it is wrong for us to maybe think and believe that we have independent judiciary and we are having independent courts. Judiciary, as long as members of the judiciary there are being appointed by the presidency, there's no single day they'll be independent. There's no single day I'll be the person who is appointing you, then I get independent. I'm the person who is giving you that job. Just today, if I give you a house girl, that house girl will be loyal to me than she will be loyal to you, kwa sababu mimi ndo nimempatia kazi. Secondly, just look at the police service. You see people like IG Kome. You see people like Amin. Though that's a story for another day, if people do still believe, these guys were rewarded in these positions. So just to what I've heard Ichungwa say, I want to confirm that these guys, last time I told you, when Uhuru appeared publicly, I told you that he've given the Mount Kenya MPs some content, and the ones who are not planning to go back to their rural will now comfortably go and enjoy the new year because they have something they'll be able to tell people. Politics in Kenya, apart from being a tribal, our politics, we are always united with some hatred. Just like what unites us in religion. In religion, if you remove Satan, then we don't have something like religion. What unites us is that there must be something that is being demonized. There must be something bad and another one believed to be good. So we must have Satan, and we have to spend the entire day, the entire year, the entire week just demonizing, saying how Satan is bad. So if we don't have such kind of things in our politics, then the Kenyan politics is no longer there. So this is what has been happening in the mountain. Their politics have always been a state whereby there is the Odinga or the Raila. So if Raila is there, they will always demonize. Like if you go to church and they tell you today Satan has been saved and Satan have crossed over and is now on your part, then there will be no service. So if you remove Raila Odinga in the Mount Kenya scene, then there is no politics. But it seems the people who are in Mount Kenya right now, the current generation, some of them have outlived that Raila phobia. And now the current leaders are trying to look for some point of hatred. They're trying to look for some image that they can demonize. And they found a soft landing in Uhuru Kenyatta. Listen to Kimani Ichung'wah, and I do believe these guys do talk to fools. I'm sorry to call them fools. Kimani Ichung'wah is telling you that Uhuru Kenyatta built a private city. He called it private, with private investors, of whom he is referring to Chinese, meaning the money that built that city wasn't from the government coffers, but it was a private investment which was held by the Chinese. And actually, he calls them affordable, meaning they are going to be cheaper than the ones that have been built by the normal investors that we're having in the country. Then he still wants to tell you, that he sabotaged. I don't know what sabotaged. Let me tell you something about this housing project. I happen to have got into contact with the HFC, the housing, the HFC bank. They're the ones who are selling the mortgage for the big four agenda, the houses that were built under Uhuru and Ruto, and some of them, if you're in Nairobi, they did some houses in Pangani, they did some houses in Komarok, phase 5. That one was done by the partnership with the government and the HFC. So what was happening? They were just like the affordable housing Ruto is telling you. Nobody was taxed. So this bank, the HFC, would come to your work place and tell you that we're having some affordable housing scheme. The house will go at 1.5 million, but you are going to contribute. But once you've contributed and have reached 15%, you can now move into your house and keep contributing until you finish paying 1.5 million. Then the house will belong to you. So the same thing is what William Ruto is telling you. You are contributing, but the only difference is that here they are forcing you. They're not asking you that, Jex, do you need a house? They're saying that we are forcing you to contribute, then we'll give you this house. But what they're not telling people is that they are making it appear that these houses they are building and they are going to give them to hustlers. The people who don't have houses in this country, Jex, are hustlers. Majority of those people who are having pay slips are having houses, and if they're not having houses, then they are lazy. They don't know how to manage. Even if you give them the house, they'll sell. So majority, the teachers you see, the nurses, the doctors, they have houses. So this is what is happening. When the nurses and the teachers are forced and they are deducted, when this scheme, they're going to give the houses, the same people whose salary has been deducted are the ones who are going to be given houses, not the mtu wa mjengo or mtu wa bodaboda mwenye hana nyumba. So the people wenye hawana nyumba ndio huyo mtu wa bodaboda. Huyo makanga unaona amekaa hapo kwa mawe, sisemi wote. Some of them wenye wanajiita hustlers, au ndio hawana nyumba na hawana payslip, na anadanganywa wenye wako na payslip watakatwa pesa na wajengewe nyumba. Wakati watakuwa wanapeana nyumba ni kama insurance. Uwezi enda kutibiwa na kadi ya NHIF ya jirani yako. They only pay the people who contributed. So these are fallacy, and the people who buy those things is why I normally tell you, don't undermine the power of foolish people, specifically when they are in a large number. That is the problem that we are having in this country. For somebody to believe that yeye hajachangiwa, hajakatwa salary, alafu atakuja kupewa nyumba, to an extent you see some idiots wanaenda kwa barabara wanasema eti nyumba serikali inatujengea nyumba, sisi tunajenganga alafu tunarudi bila nyumba, saa hii serikali inatujengea nyumba. Wapi? So people need to be given some, actually we need to close all the schools, because these schools that you're having in this country are not doing us any good. Tufunge shule zote, then we start civic education ile ya Gubaru. We go and instead of teaching people maths and teaching people Isima Pythagoras theorems and all this kind of nonsense, we go and teach these people something that is going to help them in life, like understanding kama huja contribute nyumba hutapewa. Wewe umekaa hapo juu ya mawe eti ndio ile hustler inatujengea nyumba na payslip hauna. Really? Let me stop there. Naona Captain amekuja, wacha tumsalimie.
Now, but ladies and gentlemen, let me just make this the sentiments aired in by our panelists is not in any way a reflect of Africa 24. A panelist can say words that you don't agree with. Please don't take it that hiyo ndo msimamo wetu hapa Africa 24. All right, sisi tunakupa muda na fursa ya kuja hapa kwa show kujieleza jinsi unavyofeel. You don't have to oppose the government, you don't have to support the government. All you need to do is to speak your mind. What Ruto said, do you agree with it? If you do, say it. If you don't, say it. How you say it, it's up to you. But here at Africa, we make sure we maintain the dignity that is accorded to us by all of you watching. So if you feel some insults zinapita hapa kule, please, it's not msimamo wa Africa 24. Hiyo tu ni sentiments za yule mzungumzaji. All right, okay, fantastic. We nakwambia show ya leo ni ile show I'm seeing so many watching but pia kujiunga nasi kupitia hiyo link ambazo unaziona zina flash hapo kwa comment section, the StreamYard comment section. Ukiziona hapo hizo comments zinakaa hivi. Those comments look exactly as you're seeing on your screen. If you see that comment, we touch, just touch it or click on it, tap it. It will send you to StreamYard. Your comment inakaa hivi. Ukiwasha StreamYard, unaandika jina, unawasha kamera, unaweka mic, unajikuta umeingia kwa show. Hizo comments ziko kwa any platform yenye umejiunga nayo. Kama ni Mtembei TV, it will look like that. Kama ni Africa 24, the comment will look exactly like that. Kama ni Leo TV, kama ni Jex Digital, kama ni True TV, kama ni Voice of the Innocent TV, all those channels, whatever you have or whatever source you have used to link in, hiyo ndio itakutuma hapa. Zaidi ya yote kumbuka kusubscribe to Africa 24. Let us have this conversation going. I see my good friend Captain is in the house. Captain, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Happy New Year to you, my brother.
I have a problem. with my system. I think you can hear me that the other side is having echo.
We can hear you just fine. Hauna echo, my brother. Unless from your end, but we can hear you just fine.
On my head, it is giving me two sounds.
Oh, you have to switch off one source. Kama umefungua YouTube pamoja na hii, you have to switch it off or you mute the sound ubakishe StreamYard peke yake.
Let me
All
come back.
right. Okay, Mr. G, let me come back to you. The president the other day said he has a sword. Today he said he will stop the judicial officers by all means. What do you make of his sentiments? Are these threats anything to be taken lightly?
No, Jakes, the guy is trying, okay, he's drunk with power. Ruto is drunk with the power. I know he's trying to make sure each and every person anafaa ajue kuwa yeye ndio wa kusema, and that is what he wants. Yeye ndio kusema. What he says should be done. He's the commander. Sasa hiyo ndio kitu ambayo anataka. This is a guy ambaye, as a president, sai alikuwa anaongea kuhusu constitution. Hiyo ni alikuwa anaongea kuhusu what it is. Yeah, just constitution. He's a person who should follow the constitution. He's a person who should respect judges. He should respect our courts. Sasa if ataanza kujitokezea hivi alafu anakuwa mkali, anaanza kwa intimidate, that shows that he's not a leader. He's somebody who is a dictator, and he's a dictator in making. Mtu atakuwa mbaya sana. The court should stop him mapema, na pia watu wanafaa wamstop mapema. To stop him, they revive the what do you call it, the revolution should be done mapema, because this person is becoming a dictator na atakuwa mbaya sana hata kuliko Amin Dada.
Lakini Mr. G, if tutapeleka kila kitu kotini, everything, atake kuanzisha barabara, tumeenda kotini, atake kuanzisha hospitali, tumeenda kotini, atake kujenga nyumba, tumeenda kotini, at what point will he work?
No, but Jakes, you cannot take everything to court kama haina shida. Kitu yote ambayo iko na shida ndio inapelekwa kotini. Huwezi peleka everything kotini kama
my friend, Mr. G, you live in this country just like I do. What has not been taken to court, including hata kupea watoto chakula in Nairobi, someone took it to court and the court threw it away, like for lack of a better word. Hiyo story hata haikusikizwa sana, but anything in Kenya can be taken to court, and we have seen people going to court for any sort of reason. So if you take all forms of development, all forms of agenda to court, when will this president do something?
What I know, Mr. Jakes, what I know is that kitu yote ambao iko na ukora inafaa ipelekwe kotini. Kama hii issue ya housing. This is a scam bana. This is a scam. The way leo amesema, somebody ameketi pale anajidanganya ati hustler atatapewa nyumba na hana hata pesa, and to get this house you have to contribute, you have to buy it. Nyumba zinanunuliwa zitakuwa zinauzwa almost 250,000, almost 2 million, 1.5 million. Hawa hustler ambao wamejidanganya wameketi ati wanajengewa nyumba, watapata hiyo 1.5 million walipe, watapata 2 million walipe, watapata hiyo 250,000 is it 250,000 wanunue hizo nyumba, hawawezi nunua. So this thing is a scam, is a propaganda. That's why inapelekwa kotini kustopishwa. It's not that hiyo kitu watu wanapeleka kotini kwa sababu ya kupeleka, no, the guy hizo ndo loopholes ambazo anatumia kuiba, so they're trying to stop him. They should stop him. This is a con man.
All right. Maybe if you're just joining us and you are away and you're just tuning in and you're asking yourself, what in the world are we discussing? Allow me to play this short clip and listen in. Therein lies what we are discussing. All right. Listen in to this short clip.
Administration will stop judicial impunity by corrupt judicial officers at all costs, in yet another ominous speech, this time specifically targeting the judiciary. The president said beneficiaries of graft had teamed up with corrupt judicial officers to deny Kenyans development. Well, the president, who has had two of his pet projects in universal healthcare and affordable housing temporarily stopped by the courts, said his government would not allow this to continue. It was the second time in 3 days that the president was touching on a matter before court, with his statements in Nyandarua more specifically targeted. Stephen Leto with the details.
Having launched a tirade against his perceived opponents a few hours to the new year on Sunday, President William Ruto today picked up from where he left, saying his government will not allow beneficiaries of corruption to stop projects meant to benefit Kenyans.
Our judiciary will respect you, but judicial impunity by corrupt judicial officers must stop in Kenya.
And despite his confessed respect for the judiciary, the head of state did not hold back on discussing issues that are substantively before court, and where his administration has recently taken knocks with regard to the affordable housing project and universal healthcare ambitions.
Ati watu wachache, wawili watatu, wameenda kotini, wakahongana kotini, mpango hiyo ikasimamishwa, barabara ikasimamishwa, universal health coverage inasimamishwa, mambo ya housing inasimamishwa. Lazima tuulizane, lazima tuwe na mjadala.
President Ruto saying as much as 50% of NHIF funds were stolen by corrupt individuals who wanted to halt changes to healthcare by use of the court system so that they could continue benefiting. President Ruto directed the executive to defy orders that disenfranchise the country's development agenda.
Ile barabara ya Ihithe munataka tujenge ama munataka tungoje mpaka judiciary watuambie tujenge? Judiciary wanasema tusijenge. Munataka tujenge, nijenge hiyo barabara ama tungoje hao watu? Tujenge barabara? Bwana Mbogwa, wewe bwana PS, weka pesa ya hiyo barabara tuanze kujenga.
The president's allies in the legislature were with him in the onslaught against the judiciary.
Let me ask our judicial officers not to allow themselves to be used by the cartels that are sabotaging the housing program, the program to ensure that all Kenyans access universal health coverage.
Mr. President, focus on your work. All these naysayers in opposition waendelee kufanya kazi yao ya checking government. Lakini maneno ya maandamano ya kuharibu mali ya wananchi, hiyo tumekataa kabisa.
The president also told of the opposition following its threats to call for another round of mass protest over the tax laws.
Badala ya kusumbua wananchi na kulete fujo na kulete vita, ambieni hawa wananchi mpango yenu tofauti na yetu ni gani?
The president was in Jambini, Nyandarua for the funeral service of Michael.
All right. Wadau, huyo ni Prezo, and I'll get you the feel. Hiyo wamejaribu kuedit. I'll give you the entire speech. Manze, Prezo alikuwa amewaka. Acheki na wadi.
I know next you want to bring Captain. Before you bring Captain, I just want to remind you people that the president himself is a product of judiciary. So, had we asked that sisi tupuze the decision ya judiciary that upheld his win, where would this country be? I think he needs to appreciate that. Were it not for that judiciary, and actually say that, you know, judiciary is what stopped the anarchy in this country, because we had the other faction of Azimio saying we won, the Kenya Kwanza saying they won, but it was judiciary to come and say, oh guys, let's look into this matter. So it can't be that you obey the decisions by judiciary selectively. That's selective amnesia, whereby you decide which directives I'm going to obey and which directives I'm going to ignore. So the president himself is a product of judiciary. And if the heads of state have told you that tupuze maneno, weka pesa pale, that one tells you that in this country, he practiced what Wajakoya told us, that when he's elected, that Wajakoya promised us. It's good Wajakoya was truthful and said that, yeah, akichaguliwa, we are going to suspend the constitution. So that is what the president is telling you today. Let us suspend this constitution. And when Raila and those other guys are telling you that we want to demonstrate, then they're telling you those guys are going to promote anarchy. Speaking from both mouths, the Bible that he reads tells you that chemi, like a water spring, cannot produce both bitter and sweet water. So it must choose which waters it wants to produce. So the president has declared 2024, we are suspending the constitution. Let the constitution iwe ni ile kitu akili yako inakwambia. And it's going to be chaotic. I can promise you. Such kind of sentiment is going to make this country ungovernable. Nobody is going to court. Actually, erimwende kwa mganga, ya mganga huwezi pinga. So I'll just stop there.
All right. Bwana Captain, how are you? I know now you're good.
I'm now good. No echo. Now I've been trying to listen on these clips you are playing for us. Anyway, first of all, Happy New Year, you people. Happy New Year, Jakes. Happy New Year, Leo Nyabaya, and my friend, Mr. G. I've listened. In fact, I was trying to hear the way Ndindi Nyoro is speaking. It's like these people, they had a meeting before they go to Nyandarua. Well, telling before obvious, Ndindi Nyoro was speaking before the president, telling the president that focus on your work. Leave alone with these people making noise here and there. That is something they held a meeting and they have chosen to suspend the constitution, as Leo Nyabaya said. We have all the three arms of government and all of them, they are independent. I don't know why the president wants to be so much obsessed to suspend the constitution and walk alone. What has been suspended though is the housing levy and the universal health care, which for me, if I was the president of the court, I could have taken that thing to be serious. The way they took the election, whatever, to be serious, and they took like less than 2 weeks and they delivered the judgment. They should have taken that less than a week to discuss this thing. They give us the reasons why they are suspending it, or they say that there is no suspension, housing levy and universal health care to continue. Because now when they suspend and we don't know when shall it be listened or all whatever, the president now is also annoyed. But they should have discussed it and tell us where is the problem with this universal health care and the housing levy. You see? So that is all that I can say. That is all that I can say. But all these arms of government, they are all independent. And even the president himself told us in Kasarani, all the arms of government, they will work independently. And even he sworn all those charges that Uhuru Kenyatta refused to put them in the bar, and he did so. So I don't know now, after 1 year, where the problem is coming from. Until now, maybe 3 years, they'll be fighting like that. Nearing the election, he will be friendly to the court to wait to be to the next election to be announced that he has won. I think that is Paka Napanya court that we have in Kenya today. Yes.
All right. Now, Mr. Larry Moore has a question, and I think, Mr. G, I don't know if you can see the question. He had said he needed to ask something in as much as what the president read in his end of year speech. And this is what he began by saying: if you have ever heard of a free market, know that Kenya is now a product of capitalism. Maybe Kenya started as something else, but it is now as is. All right. But now here is the question that he's asking. So the question is, if they need to provide free housing, why not provide free medical? And since medicine is not free, will the people, in quotes, make another protest asking to be taxed for these free things? Interesting question therein. But as you respond to that, Bwana G, Mr. Leo anasema hivi ya kwamba this is a president who is about to suspend the constitution. Do you agree? Will he operate venye anafeel akisikia leo twende left, tunaenda left, in total disregard to the constitution?
Is it me?
Okay,
Mr. G,
Mr. Jakes. Yeah, okay, Mr. Jakes. I agree with what Leo has said. The guy is suspending the constitution. Why? Because this is a dictator in making. And he knows that he's going to do everything ambao hayaandamani na katiba. You see? And more so, every time atakuwa anafanya hizo vitu, court itakuwa inamstopisha. So he's trying to create that fear so that court isiwe inamsimamisha. This is just a fear that he's creating. And kuna hii question ambayo nanamuuliza Larry ameuliza, talking about a free housing and free education. We had free education, like we had free, kama hii mambo ya nini, your mama, Linda Mama. We had that thing was free under Uhuru regime. But the guy amekuja akatoa. That thing was helping wamama. Wamama walikuwa wanaenda kwa hospitali wanazaa bila pesa, bila anything. Wanasaidiwa na wanatoka free. But the guy ameitoa. So even this, there's nothing like free housing. Yes, a narrative kujaribu ku create a narrative that inaonyesha kuwa opposition inapinga msaada. Unaona kila wakati akisimama atasema kuwa watu wanapinga maendeleo, hawataki ni create hustle kazi. Kazi gani ambayo na create hustle? It's just a narrative to paint Azimio ama to paint opposition kuwa they are doing bad. Hawataki asaidie hustler, and yet he had no plan to help these hustlers. Zile vitu ambavyo ingewasaidia ni kama hii mambo ya nini, ni kama hii mambo ya ambayo ilikuwa Uhuru alikuwa anafanya kama kazi mtaani. Those are jobs ambazo zilikuwa zinasaidia youths, akazitoa. Hii mambo ya Linda Mama, those are things ambazo zilikuwa zinasaidia wamama wengi sana kwa hospitali, akatoa. The issue of medicine free and house free, hakuna kitu kama free. These guys, and he's just creating a narrative. The main thing tunafaa tujue ni kuwa is a narrative kujaribu kupaint Azimio ama kujaribu kupaint opposition a bad picture kuwa ni watu ambao hawataki maendeleo na yeye ako na maendeleo. Hakuna maendeleo ambayo jamaa ako nayo. Hiyo ni ile defensive, what do you call it? He's just defending himself. It's just a defensive language ambayo anatumia kuonekana kuwa ni mtu ambaye anajali, yet hajali. Angekuwa mtu ambaye anajali, vitu mingi sana angekuwa ameshafanya ambayo ingekuwa inasaidia mwananchi wa chini. But kama last time, it was last year ama a year before last year, alikuwa anaongea kuwa akiwa president hata charge ile barabara inaitwaje, ile barabara iko Nairobi, the highway. He said that alisema kuwa hata lipisha, itakuwa free. Yeah, expressway. He said that itakuwa free. Saa hii ameongeza imekuwa 500. So this is a guy ambao you cannot trust. Is a person ambaye amekuja kumilk people, amekuja kumilk those hustlers, kumilk every coin ambayo atingesaidia kupata chakula kidogo, na anataka kuchukua aibe.
Mr. G,
yes,
on the same breath, like on the expressway, this was a road built through PPP, public private partnership. Yeah, so there are guys who give money to have this road constructed. That's why we have the levies on the same, or rather the charge on the entry and the exit of that road. Don't you think it's something that maybe he was just saying it that time that he won't charge, but alipoingia kakuta, man, it's something that this needs to continue. I cannot change this. And ameongeza kwa sababu of the change of the dollar. Not that I'm tearing anyone, I'm just saying.
No, Jakes, the guy was in the party, he was in the government. Mtu si mgeni bana. Mr. Jakes, he was the deputy president for 10 years under Uhuru. Correct. Anajua kila kitu ambacho kinafanyika. So hiyo ni propaganda. He's a guy who believes in propaganda na uongo. He used that word, hiyo language, so that ashike mahasala ndo wamuvotie. That is the language jamaa kwa anatumia, just propaganda. But the guy has no plan. Yeah, he has no plan, my friends. Huyu jamaa ni mtu ambaye amekuja create a narrative, aonekane kuwa ni mtu mzuri, and yet he has no solution to this country.
Now,
Jakes, during first, on that point of this expressway, during the signing of the agreement of the expressway from all the donors and all people who built the road, I think all the agreement was made. And I understand that they told us that there are some years that we are going to take our money until we finish. We don't want to know if there is dollar up, dollar down. Let's talk now. Let's say dollar is down. These people could have reduced their levy on the expressway, because obvious now it's up, and you are talking of telling us they have increased to 500. What if the dollar was to go down? Were these people ready to reduce? That's the question.
Of course, what these gentlemen are talking about, they are talking about the government approving an increase on the toll charges at the expressway, where motorists who were previously paying 360 shillings will now have to part ways with 500. Of course, this is from Mlolongo to Westlands, depending from where you embark on driving, kama umeanzia Mlolongo ama kama umeanzia Westlands, all the way. That is the new charges, from 360 to 500, an increase of around 140 shillings. The CS for Transport tried to explain this, that this was made because of an increase in the dollar against the shilling. So he said that's what has affected that. And of course, that's what we are discussing. But of course, we are focusing on the wrath that Ruto today unleashed on judges and those who have the habit of going to court. Akina Okiya Mtata, after they were told kuna sword, now they have been told is okay. Those judges who he described as corrupt and use punitive measures to further some unwanted agendas, he will deal with them. He said, come what may, he must deal with them. So this is what the president said today, and this is what we are trying to discuss, of course, among many other issues. Okay. Later on, we'll be discussing Kenya has been sued by Uganda. Kenya tumepelekwa kotini by Uganda. We'll be discussing just that about now. I'll equally be telling you why Uganda wametolewa na USA kwa AGOA. So I have interesting news for you. So you really need to stick around to find out more. Now, Bwana Captain.
Yes, sir.
How will the president perform? Kila kitu anajaribu inatumwa kotini. So I think amefika what we call the thresh point, and I feel sasa haya watu wamekuwa too much. I need to do something. You cannot keep on sending me to court, stopping everything. And he's saying that the judges wamenatumika visivyo. How will the president move on? You know, how will any development, if any, happen if we take everything to court?
I think now, James, you are taking me back, because I said
I am not.
wakati alishinda uchaguzi ile koti anatetesha saizi, ndio hiyo anasema anapelekewa maneno, wanapeana ongo, they are giving bribes and all whatever. Why did the president allow the court to listen on the people who are moving to court against all these things as he's doing? I think this time now to talk with the court and give, like, it is a case on urgent that it has to be discussed, and they deliver the judgment immediately, like the way the elections was delivered. Because now you see, even Uganda, they have seen that you are not even satisfied with your own court. They are now taking you to the highest one, because your president, you are taking him this one, but he's not listening. So let's move the other one for East Africa, because we will come to that. We will come to that one for East Africa and Uganda. Let me not go further.
All right. So before we move on to the next topic, let's listen into what Ndindi Nyoro said, and then I'll summarize.
Takwimu zimetolewa that the GDP of Kenya in the third quarter of 2023 grew by 5.9%, a growth that is higher than even China. In fact, the growth of the Kenyan GDP is now 27th fastest growing economy in the world. Mheshimiwa President, I also saw that the inflation in Kenya is actually now at 6.6%, which is the lowest in 20 months. Mheshimiwa President, saa zingine tunaweza kusukuma sana kama wananchi, so that you do even more. But we appreciate the much you are doing. Because for sure, now what we are seeking is to continue with that growth, but even much more to spread it so that even Kenyans can feel the GDP in their pockets. And I know that is what you are doing. That is why you have told us in the budget committee, most of the money must go to agriculture. Tumeweka pesa kwa fertilizer. Tumeweka pesa kwa wakulima wa kahawa. Tumeweka pesa ya mopping out milk. Wakati kama hii kukinyesha sana, maziwa inaenda bei chini. Ukatuambia tuweke pesa ndio maziwa ya wakulima bei siende chini sana. Tumeweka pesa katika elimu ya watoto wa Kenya. 700 billion. Mr. President, mimi nataka nikupongeze for the good work you are doing.
I begin with you, Bwana Leo. Dini Nyoro says that we are doing so well economically. From where you see it, do you agree with those sentiments?
Jake, those sentiments, the only thing that I normally ask myself, who are the audience? The people I sympathize with are the audience. I'm sure Ndindi Nyoro cannot come here and tell us such kind of things. That is number one. Number two, Ndindi Nyoro cannot go to a place like Kisumu or a place like Kericho and tell such kind of nonsense. I'm sure those things were said in Mount Kenya. Number two, they were said in a church. If not a church, then maybe a funeral. Why do I have to say in the church? The church has taught us to be obedient, to be loyal, to believe without asking questions. It's the church that has taught us that once somebody stands on the pulpit, whatever they say is sanctified and it's true. If somebody is telling you, I laughed at some of the report that was hyped 2 hours before the president gave the end of the year address, telling you that Kenya is among the some foreign whatever something destinations in 2024, beating some countries in Europe. And this is a report by IMF. IMF is looking for customers. Jake, here, if you want to make your viewers happy and make them come and keep on watching you every day, lazima, you need to pamper them. You need to praise them. You need to tell them how they are the best ahead of the rest. So IMF has realized that there is somebody else. There is a promising customer in the name of Kenya. So they need to keep on telling you those kind of things. Right now, they've told you that wameweka pesa kwa fertilizer. I think, Jex, you are aware that Kenya has also received some tons of fertilizers. Can you confirm that? From, was it Algeria? We received some fertilizers last week. We received some donation. I think you worked on that news. I'll get it for you. Kenya already tulishapewa fertilizer. Do you remember? Last week. So right now, because we've been given free fertilizers, free, of which the question we should be asking the Ministry of Agriculture, this free fertilizer tunaipata lini? But already mmeambiwa serikali imeweka pesa. Sasa mmepewa free fertilizer, hii pesa wamejiwekea kwa mfuko. That is how mafia runs their government. You talk of GDP, uchumi inaendelea vizuri. Why aren't people feeling that? Why aren't people feeling that? And the next week, for the first time after, is it 8 years, Kenyans are going to pay school fees in day school, secondary school, something that has not been happening for the last 8 years. Kenyans are going to pay day school. Nowadays, they don't pay school fees. They only pay for lunch and things like those extra developments, like you want to buy a school bus and such kind of things. They don't pay school fee. But for the first time after 8 years, they're going to pay school fees. And you say you have a godly, a God-chosen friend. Really? I think this nation, we need to get our brains liberated first, because, and some people are really clapping when people speak such kind of lies, and they like using some terms that they know people will not be able to understand. So they choose their audience well. That is the fact. They choose their audience well. They know where to say such kind of things. Jakes, I've not seen them in Nakuru. I don't know why. I've not seen them in my area. And when they come to my village, they can't speak such kind of things. They know. Why is it that these people are really misusing a specific faction of Kenyans?
All right, interesting. Mr. G, what do you make of Ndine Nyoro's remark? Do you agree that the economy is doing well?
No, economy is not doing well, Mr. Jakes. First of all, we need okay, we cannot compare our GDP with what China and those other countries have. But when we talk about issue on economy, our economy is doing bad. First of all, I want to add something on what Leo has spoken. The issue of church. Leo has raised a concern on the issue whereby people are misled in our churches. I am one person who believes in the Bible. I have been in church for a very long time, and I believe in the Bible 100%. But do you know that in the Bible, even when Paul was writing that Bible, he told the believers that try every spirit. In case somebody comes and teaches you something that does not resonate with what you believe in, you have to ask questions. Uliza maswali. Kama that thing does not resonate with what you believe in, mkataze. In fact, you should not allow him to speak before you. That was the doctrine of the church. But today now our churches wamekuwa misled by our leaders. I don't know if it's because of sadaka na hizo fungu la 10 ndio wanafanya. Sasa imekuwa ni kama we are lost kabisa. And that's the issue of church. I think God should come back to our churches na tusaidia sana, because imemislead watu wengi sana. Nowadays things are being done wrongly, alafu hakuna mtu ana stand to oppose. No one can stand to say this one is wrong or the other thing that's happening is not right. We are being misled a lot every time. And then let me go back to the question. Our economy is not doing good. Our economy ingekuwa inafanya vizuri, sasa tungekuwa na industries zimejengwa na investors. Why is it that every time and then every month our investors are still running away from our country? Our investors are running away from our country, wanaenda to our neighbors country. Sasa mpaka Uganda imetupeleka kotini kwa sababu imetuona kama sisi ni wakora. Inataka ifanye kazi yake, wao wanataka wafanye kazi yao wenyewe kwa sababu ametuona sisi ni wakora. And somebody is lying to our people here that our economy is doing good, that inflation is imerudi chini, what. When economy is stable, vijana wetu wanafaa wako na kazi sahihi. Kama economy is doing good, industries zingekuwa zinafanya kazi sahihi, our businesses zingekuwa zinaendelea. Many businesses zimefunga, zimeclose. Businesses, watu wanataka business, hakuna customers wanakuja, inabidi wafunge biashara zao. And somebody is lying to our people here that our
Mr.
business
G, if you look at what Mr. G, if you look at what Ndine Nyoro was trying to explain, it's what I'm reflecting on your screens, that the GDP growth of Kenya, that is the year 2023, according to IMF, grew by 5.9%, ahead of China. Yani tulishinda China. You can only imagine. We did so well ahead of China. We did so well ahead of Nigeria, ahead of Spain, ahead of Brazil, ahead of Mexico, ahead of Japan. We did so well than Canada. Canada only was able to score a 1.3%. We did so well than France, did so well than South Africa, Saudi Arabia, Italy, UK at 0.5, Germany at 0.5. We did so well. The only country yenye ilitushinda ni India at 6.3. But akina Mexico and Brazil and other countries were lagging behind. With this kind of projection, really, is Mwananchi feeling this kind of development?
No, I think this is more of a propaganda. Inaitwaje IMF ya kwanza ambayo imetuingiza kwa hii shida, cause hii imefanya mpaka huyu mtu anatax watu sana. It's just IMF. So this is more of a propaganda, kwa sababu how can our GDP grow more than even USA? Tutashinda vipi USA? How can we grow even more than Germany? And Germany inakuwa the last one. How can, and itakwaje? UK, Italy, tumewashinda wote. This is more of a propaganda. I don't believe
now,
in Ndine Nyoro.
There's something equally you have said, that investors are running away from our country. There's something I played yesterday. I choose to play it now. This as well is another report by uh, foreign development investment or investors. It's an organization that deals with investors. And let me just give you the image first. It says that global direct investment opportunities in Kenya shows that in 2024, Africa is ranked third in terms of how foreigners will directly invest in Kenya, or rather, the opportunities for investors in Africa. Kenya ranks third, and actually, it is outranking all European nations and emerging fast in Africa. Actually, this is according to this organization called the Foreign Direct Investments. What do you make of such a conclusion? What I'm now showcasing is we come third because at number one is Cambodia, followed by Philippines. We are at third place. So Kenya is third. Really, are we at that level?
No, we are not at that level. This, I just say, this is just more of a propaganda. Because in Kenya, in fact, yes, you are in Kenya, and you know very well that most of our investors wamekimbia. Most of them wamekimbia wameenda Tanzania. Most of them wamekimbia wameenda Uganda. We ourselves, our clients wamewacha kazi, wamekimbia wameenda kufanya kazi zingine kule Uganda because of economy in Kenya. It is not even favorable for them to work here. Sasa mtu akikwambia kuwa people are coming to invest in Kenya, those are the lies of this guy. Ruto ndo anapenda uongo. There's nothing that economy is stable. Economy ingekuwa stable, sasa kazi zingekuwa mingi. Imagine ni jana ama ni juzi alikuwa anatangaza kusema 70,000 watu wamepoteza kazi. Sasa watu wamepoteza kazi huku tunaambiwa kwa economy iko stable, at we are number 3, people are coming to invest in Kenya. These are all lies. Economy in Kenya is doing bad.
No, Mr. G, we are told we are number 3, we are ahead of China, we are ahead of Canada, and the same person is telling you that we need to take Kenyans to go and work in those countries so that they can be able to bring back money. So how do we grow our GDP? How can I convince my grandmother that investors are flocking Kenya, and we know investors create jobs with their investments? Then you also tell me that you want me to fly and go to China, where these investors are coming from. They're coming to Kenya to create jobs, and you want me to go and get employed there. Does it really make some sense? I think these are kind of stories. But back to what I say, it depends with the audience. There are some stories that we were told that you can't buy them. It takes you to lose your brain or suspend your thinking capacity and become a swamp rat for you to believe this kind of stories. I know there are people who are believing, and it is so sad that even people who've gone to school, I'm not an economist, but it's so sad that people who have got some basic economic knowledge will clap. But I know they're just clapping not because they're agreeing with it, but they're just clapping to please the king. They're just clapping because, you know, when the king is naked, you don't need to tell the king that the king is naked lest you lose your life. So you need to encourage the king that you see your suit is smart, such kind of things. That's
now,
the problem.
Leo, for the first time, I want to put you on the spot. You have refuted the claims from IMF. What facts, how, and what would you say? Where do we rank? What source should we use to rank Kenya? Because we always base our arguments on facts. Where should we seek to find out exactly how Kenya is performing?
Actually, IMF does not make sense to individuals who are in my village. Majority of the people who are complaining or who depend on maybe the government policies to change their lives. So IMF and those kind of things are alien to them. It's just like somebody who've done some theology coming to preach to you. There's some deeper message that you cannot understand. So the only SI unit that we can use, that a common mwananchi, this is a government where majority of hustlers can understand, is when they can be able to afford the basic needs. Actually, here we are not even talking of saving. We are not even talking of insurance, whether they are able to buy some insurance cover for themselves, whether they're able to save for their kids' school fees. But we are talking of basic needs. So as long as you are not, majority are not able to afford the basic needs, whether IMF ranks you top, whether they rank you bottom, it doesn't matter. Go to our neighboring country in Uganda. Somebody will have been asking, why is it that Museveni have managed to lead all those years, despite the fact the people who normally see Museveni as a wrong leader are we Kenyans and people from foreign countries who look at a democracy in a different angle. But the people of Uganda, you'll never see them on the street simply because however much Museveni rigs himself there, he doesn't interfere with the basic commodities. These guys will always get food. In my constituency, actually, I come from a constituency bordering the Busia, and we buy food from Uganda. And I've never seen Ugandans being given free fertilizers. They have food there. They can be able to afford the basic needs. And that is why they will tell you they are rich. So it doesn't care whether IMF ranks Uganda at the bottom. The fact of the matter is that there they have enough. They can afford the basic needs. You better have food is a basic need, na ukose kuenda shule kusoma, because when you are fed well, even the health problems will not be there. Utapata balanced diet, hautashikwa na kwashi yako. So the basic thing that should start in your family, Jex, ensure watoto wamekula. Wakisha kula hata hospitali utapunguza mbio za kwenda hospitali. Why do people go to hospital? Most of these health problems are
Leo, what's the difference between your statement and what Gachagua said that what Mount Kenya needs ni mchele na nyama? What's the difference between
the difference is he said Mount Kenya needs mchele na nyama when he know very well Mount Kenya cannot produce mchele na nyama for themselves. They don't have that mchele na nyama. He said that the government is going to give it.
I think Mwea wana produce mchele and Mwea is in Central.
Do you see mchele ya Mwea in a supermarket? If I send you today, utaenda uipate?
I don't want to argue.
No, if I just want to give you that challenge, just go to any supermarket, sample randomly, if you will get.
A moderator. I don't want to
you need to go and sample them and tell me in mchele ya Mwea if you see it. Those mchele you see there from China.
Okay.
Allow Mr. Penn to praise the king.
Yes, Mr.
Disappear. What I wanted to say, Jakes, this calculation of GDP is done outside of let me say Africa, outside Kenya. And when they see our president speaking good English in African Union meetings, speaking good English in South Africa the other day, and people are clapping and laughing, some even are standing up, they think Kenya is London. They calculated those GDP using English. They let them come to the ground, and they'll feel what the people of Kenya are feeling. Why are they not putting Tanzania?
But Kenya is London. Wait, Bwana Captain, Kenya is London. The president said that, where is that? Is it Mukuru Kwajenga, those areas? Alisema
he told us Mukuru Kwajenga is Europe, only for us to go and find sewage. And
that is why I'm telling you people always, you are forced to accept that 1 + 1 is 11. Well, you know it is 2.
Exactly.
What's wrong with you?
No. Thank you, Captain. Thank you, Captain.
But no, thank you, Captain. If I had someone strong from UDA, I'm sure
using English.
Most of what you guys are saying should be counted. It is what it is. But I beg we move forward, Kidogo. But Mr. G seems to have something to say. Yes, sir.
Jex, before we move forward, just one point. Look at our dollar. Sahi, our dollar is imefika to our dollar. And then somebody lies to you that the economy is doing good. How can our dollar almost get into 160? Alafu nakwambia the economy is doing good. Na tusahi tunaanza kufuatwa na Uganda, tunaanza kufuatwa na Tanzania. Wewe sisi ndio tukua the role model. Sahi tumekuwa watu wengine hata wapumbavu kabisa. I agree with what Captain amesema. I think these people wanna gauge the English and they believe in the lies ambao Ruto anasema.
All right.
And they come to the platform like this, they are listening at the background. They think Kenya is very nice.
Just one moment. I really want to be fair to you guys. This platform is equally a platform. So if you feel that I'm equally addressing Akina Geoffrey Ruto and me joining us, that if you really want to defend and counter the narratives, of course, propagated by Mr. G, Mr. Leo, Mr. Captain, I will not restrict you, right? I will not restrict you. Here we allow you to speak. Here we allow you to have your sentiments aired. Yeah. So you speak as you see it. Whether you agree, whether you disagree, you speak as you see it. All right. Fantastic. But equally, let me say a big shout out to those who are joining us and equally commenting. Akina Geoffrey Ruto, Akina Larry, Akina Goodyear, all of you, you guys are just but amazing. All right. Can we go to the next topic? What now?
Jex, just a minute. Jex, just a minute.
Mhm.
Tell Mr.
Mhm.
Ruto, the Ruto una comment that we in Africa, we believe in truth. Hakuna siku tutasupport propaganda. There's no way tutasupport lies. That's why we speak the way things are in the ground. On the ground, ukienda utapata vitu haziendi sawa, and we refuse kupakapaka mafuta kitu ambayo haifanyiki. So Mr. Ruto, you know, hata Azimio ingekuwa kwa kiti ingekuwa inaongea mambo mabaya, tungewaambia what you are doing is wrong, because we
All
believe
right.
in truth and in the
And we are not in a campaign mood now. We are looking in the government. No one is telling the other one vote for me.
And
Vote for where? We want
exactly.
this government.
And and now I want to hear from Nyagaka. Nyagaka sees from a different lens. Nyagaka, you have an echo. I want you to mute first before I switch on your mic. I want you to mute your TV so that when you speak, you won't have a feedback on your end, so that it's only your phone. So Nyagaka, I don't know if you're now ready, but I'm sure you are going to refute most of all that has been said. But I give you a minute. I don't know if you're good. If you're good, let me know.
I'm good.
Go ahead then.
Sijui nianzie wapi. Hiyo yote wanasema ni kitu of the history of the past. Kama huyu Nyabaya anasema, Nyabaya, wacha nikuambia kwamba foreign direct investment is of today, 2023, 2024. Hizi countries zote, Germany, Britain, China, all these countries that you are quoting, they have had that direct investment for years, for over 50, 60 years. Ni kama kusema which country grows the highest GDP, which country is growing. It will show us very high. But does that mean that we are like American or we are like Britain? No. They have already passed where we are passing. So we are growing up to get to there. The foreign direct investment, Kenya ikiwa number 3, ni as of the statistics of today. It is statistics are done from the United Nations, sio country reja. And this direct investment, Kenya ikiwa hapo juu, lazima tukubali na tuwe na raha nyingi, kwa sababu hizi countries zingine una quote zilikuwa na hizo for all those years before. Ya kwamba leo mi nani kapteni vile unasema ati Ruto amekuwa dictator nini. There is no country that has a parliament. The parliament sets the rules of the country, and then somebody goes to court, and then they are ruled for. There is no country like that. If you want us to do away with the parliament, so be it. Then we cannot, we don't have to have the parliament set the rules so that the rules can be taken to court, so that the court can who's ruling? The UDA government or the court? These are useless court that we have. Yule Dani alikuwa anasema, we wanted him to say it last year or a year before, because it is really a waste of our time, because the court, the parliament is supposed to set the rules, and the rules are supposed to be governing that nation for the next 5 years. After the 5 years, then you can change. Then you guys in Azimio can convince most Kenyans to vote for you. They did not vote for you in 2022.
Jax, you should not allow maybe Pen to mislead. The
That's
parliament doesn't say...
No. What did Mali say? What I was saying?
No, Jax, you need to correct that, actually. You need to...
Listen, allow him to speak. I'll give you time to rebuttal.
It's not
But they
rebuttal,
have
it's
been
just correcting.
Mr. J,
No,
They have
he's
been
lying.
saying the same thing.
guys,
They have been
guys,
saying, you guys been saying the same thing for the last
you
2 hours.
you guys spoke, I listened. Listen to him as well. That's what we call democracy. You don't have to like it. You don't have to believe
But
it.
he's lying. He's lying.
And that's why I'll give you an
But
opportunity for
now,
rebuttal,
Jakes,
Mister.
if we are giving him time,
I'll remain with Nyagaka. I'll remain with Nyagaka. Nyagaka, go ahead. I'll give you time to rebuttal.
Yeah.
Listen to him. We
No,
have listened
no,
to you.
no. Whatever I'm saying is the opposite of what you are saying. I did not call yours a lie. I call yours your belief, the whatever you want to believe in. But you cannot say whatever we believe in, whatever we both the government and want on is a lie. This is a waste of time. Let us be very, very, very clear. You have a different agenda. You have a different argument as to what the government should be doing. And we have the right to rule directly as to how we want this nation. And the captain, wasn't it police the last time you were, I was having a problem. But you were asking me that, and then the direct question as why do I really believe in this government, and it is hurting a lot of people, the colleges, what. It is very true. We do not want a government that has only one tribe or two. We want a government that works for everybody or doesn't work for everybody. So that,
Okay.
Captain, this is the time that any country that is a democracy that is changing to a new economy at the beginning, it is very difficult. Captain, whether you kubali na wewe, and I've agreed with Nyabaya.
Now, Leo, what has he said that is a lie? Now
No, what I was
it's your
saying
turn.
that Penn should tell you. Penn has said that the parliament makes laws and these laws are governing after 5 years and they can only be changed after 5 years. In other words, he's agreeing with William Ruto to discredit the judiciary. The role of the parliament is to make laws, but these laws, they don't just make it aimlessly. It doesn't mean if today an MP goes and passes a law there that if Jax you refuse to do this, then you should be hanged. Then it becomes a law for 5 years and it can only be changed after 5 years. The laws that are made in parliament must conform with the Kenyan constitution. The supreme law that we have is a constitution. So any law that you pass must conform with the Supreme Court. With this constitution. That is why you see when the parliament has passed bill, which they can pass because they have majority, somebody, a single person will go to court and will have to overturn it based on the constitutionality. This person will go to court not because the parliament passed this and they were not given time to speak. They will go to court and cite some provisions that were not followed when this law was put into place. Like currently what Okiya Mtata is challenging in court with the issue of housing levy, it is a tax that is forced on you. In this case, I'll ask you, the employers normally give people what is called a house allowance. But in this tax, the employer is going to pay a percentage and you're also paying a percentage. Do you think that employer is going to give you a house allowance and pay for you a mortgage at the same time? So it is illegal. So Nyagaka should understand that the courts exist there to interpret the law. The parliament makes laws that are in line with the constitution. If they were just allowed to make laws at a free will, something that Ruto wants them to do, then we will be having some pariah laws in this country. Go to some country like Eritrea. Those countries don't have laws governing them. It's a pariah country whereby the president, who is the commander of chief of the armed forces, is the law. So Ruto wants to bring that one whereby Ruto becomes the law. He says what he feels is right and what he feels is wrong. Like today, he tells you the court. I've seen Nyagaka talking so bad about the court. But Nyagaka, you'll have to remind these people that you people have been telling us that, number one, William Ruto is a product of the Supreme Court. That is a fact. It is because of the Supreme Court that he is there. So he cannot choose when to agree with the Supreme Court and when to disagree with the Supreme Court. If the Supreme Court confirmed that he was duly elected and the Supreme Court was right, then he should maintain the same belief. Because what is the difference between William Ruto and those people who are calling Mandamano saying that the Supreme Court erred? If the Supreme Court is now accepting and confirming that even when Supreme Court confirmed him as the president, it was an error for the Supreme Court to confirm him. If you want to tell us that sasa sisi tuendelee na kujenga, then why do we need to have these courts?
Okay.
Then why can't we just do away with the courts?
Now, Mr. G, what were you disagreeing with Mr. Nyagaka? And Nyagaka, I'll give you time to respond as well. Mr. G, what was the lie?
You know, Mr. Nyagaka was saying that hizo nini zile numbers ambapo umeshare hapa, that those numbers sijui zimetoka leo, and then those numbers were here since almost 2 weeks ago. The numbers were there. Anaongea kwa ati kitu imefanywa leo, ati imefanywa sijui jana ama leo. So that's why I'm saying that it's lying. Those numbers were there since.
Nyagaka, I'll give you time. I really want to be fair to everyone. I'll give you time. It's now Mr. G. Yes, Mr. G.
Yeah, those numbers were there almost 2 weeks ago. And remember, when he's talking about maybe economy is doing good because GDP is growing, look at our economy right now. We are being told that out of 10 shillings, out of $10, 7 are going to pay loans. So how can you tell your people that economy iko sawa and yet 7 out of 10 is going to pay loans? Unabaki na only 3. So our economy is not doing good, but economy is bad. And this guy hajakuwa na any plan ya kusaidia hii country. So when Nyagaka comes here alafu anza kusema ata defend this country, this government because the president is doing well, anafanya mambo mazuri, GDP imesaidia sijui watu. Where are jobs? 70,000 people wamelose kazi kwa sababu ya hii finance bill. Where is the economy doing well? If our investors are running away every time and then we should stop lying to people bana. Economy is bad na tuko kwa ground. We are not talking kama watu ambao tuko nje. Nyagaka should come in Kenya aone what things are on the ground. Ndaanza kutuambia. Yeah, yuko America. Hajui nini inaendelea. That's why he's talking of these things, these numbers.
Nyagaka, do you care to respond to both Nyabaya and
Yes. Wacha nianze na huyu mheshimiwa G ambaye amesema right now. Hiyo numbers G si kusema ni ya jana ama leo. Those are statistics that are studied for years. Na hiyo ilianza maybe 2023, sio 2 weeks. It's very clear. Yangu ni kusema ya kwamba they just showed it up later last year or early this year. Na hiyo inaonyesha vile wamefanya statistics, foreign direct investment. Na ile foreign direct investment, it takes time to have effect on us. Kwa sababu what they are saying right now, the common person huko kwetu Javuta hajaiona. Leo, wacha nikuambia kwamba I personally, I am a product of the courts. My dad worked in the courts all over South Nyanza. Now I knew you cannot, court cuts both ways. It can't cut to Ruto's side or it can't cut on the other side. So that what Ruto was saying today was a human frustration of what the courts have been doing. Okia Umtata is one of the people that we really, personally, I respect. And I think that they are doing a wonderful job. Na huyu nani, Mheshimiwa Ruto kusema hivi, the president, it is very true. Every one of these issues, they wait till they go to the parliament, then they go to court. Go to parliament, and then they go to court. No, there is no real, you cannot compare ourselves with Eritrea, compare ourselves with the developed countries like Korea, that goes up. Now you cannot see the effects of the courts in a parliament. You either have a parliament or you don't. Leo,
right.
Personally, I'm saying the court, you cannot be proud that the court rules for you all the time. It can't. If it does, then it is a very stupid court. The court can come against you, can be for you. Okay, thank you.
Right. Mr. Captain, equally you had something you were saying. Yes, Mr. Captain.
Before Nyagaga disappears, najua Nyagaga ni mzee.
He's still with us.
Na lazima tuheshimu mzee, lakini mzee tukifika mahali tutakukosea heshima inabidi. Kwa sababu ukisema nimesema Ruto ni dictator, tumekuwa hapa na hapa na list wote. Hakuna mahali nimetaja kuwa president ni dictator. Wewe unaniwekelea maneno, lakini sio kuniwekelea, ni kitu unajua ni dictator. Unajiambia peke yako hata kabla niseme. So hiyo mwambia deliver kwa wananchi wa Kenya. Kelele mingi na tunatenga na kufanya mkutano, tunakuja kuweka hii, hiyo haiwezekani. Kama leo alisema huko hiyo barabara ilisemwa pale Nyandarua, akauliza wananchi, mnataka tutengeneze hii barabara ya hapa ama tuende kotini? Na akaita sijui Paul something hapo. Hawakusema mambo ya barabara ndio inapelekwa kotini. Inapelekwa kotini kwa zile vitu watu hawaridhiki, kama hiyo housing levy na hiyo universal health care, na waombe isikizwe. Lakini Nyakaka ukisema nimemuita dictator, sikutaja mtu dictator, hiyo unaniwekelea.
Dictator ni mimi nilisema he's a dictator in making. I'm the one who said
sorry captain.
Yeah, I said it. I said he's a dictator in making because of how he makes his decisions. Ni mtu ambaye hataki kusikia mtu yoyote, and he's a dictator.
All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are discussing a lot, right? So bear with us. The topics might be slightly many. We have jammed them into one huge show. Okay. Now, I want to come to you, Bwana G. Ndio tumalizana na wewe tu saa hizi. Now, my question to you is this. The government gets its money either through borrowing or through taxes, all right? Now, this is what the president said. He said these words today, that many nations have been destroyed by debt, but there is no single nation that has been destroyed by taxes. In fact, many progressive countries have been built by their taxes, and that is where we need to go. One, we have borrowed more than we can pay. We are here saying we have Eurobond. We have so many issues in as far as debts are concerned. Atakama ni wewe, where will the president get money to pay the debts, to do the roads that you want him to do the hospitals you want him to do? Where in the world will he get the money if he does not tax you, if he does not get it from his country first before he even goes borrowing? And he has said no country has been destroyed by taxation. Do you agree with that sentiment? Do you disapprove that sentiment?
For me, I don't believe in this guy. I don't believe in everything that he says. This is the guy himself who used to tell us that, had a borrow.
Mr. G, I'm not asking you whether you believe in him or not. I'm asking you on the sentiments he made.
Okay, let me elaborate what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that this is the same guy who used to tell us that he will never borrow. He's the same guy who told us that Uhuru akwana borrow akiba. How comes just in 1 year, I'm a borrow more than what Uhuru borrowed in his 1 year? This is the guy ambaye sasa he's talking about taxes, and yet we know that those countries ambao wana tax watu wake, those people seize the benefit of the taxes. The country in a benefit in a kata taxes, but the people the citizens seize the benefit of that taxes. In our country, ana tax kila mahali, but we don't see anything. We don't see what the taxes are doing. Sasa, how can we believe such a person? How can you believe such a person? I cannot believe that statement.
Mr. Leo, same question.
I think from the statement that William Ruto is telling you that I can see many nations have been destroyed by debt, but there is no single nation that has been destroyed by taxes. So there is no problem with the taxation. And most countries are paying taxes. Even Nyagaka will tell you that where he is, they are really paying a lot of taxes. So the difference is they are getting value for their taxes. Do we get value for our taxes? We can't be paying taxes when we are not getting value for our taxes. We can't be paying taxes for people to fly in and out at will, when back we don't see any development. I'm telling you, as a matter of fact, walk around this country. If you see any government project that in progress, then it is a project that was already the contractors on site by the time that the former president was handing over. We've not seen any new project. Or let me I just want people to speak frankly. Those houses that you've seen there are not the Kenya Kwanza affordable houses. Those are the part of the Big Four agenda. The houses you see at Mukuru Kwanjenga, the houses you see in Homa Bay, those houses you see in Langata, they are not part of this thing called the affordable housing. Affordable housing ijaanza kujenga nyumba hata moja. Those are the big four agenda, and they are not using the taxes that have been deducted from people's salary. It is something that had already been planned for. So these are the ones that naambiwa hatujaona. So there is no way, we cannot stop the government from collecting taxes as long as these taxes are being used responsibly. But you cannot keep on taxing us, and at the same time, instead of using the taxes to pay to give us services, you are also borrowing. The government is borrowing, the government is being taxed, the government is getting grants, and what are Kenyans getting? Nothing. There is no single day this government subsidized the fertilizers or gave affordable fertilizer. The fertilizer was a donation. They actually collected taxes from it because they sold it to you at 2,500 and it was given for free. We've been given another donation. Wait for them to come and sell it to you. This is a government full of, they're like, I don't want to call them con men or con women, but they're exploiting Kenyans. And anybody.
Now, Mr. Leo, let me ask you concerning
Yes.
that part of fertilizer. How much was donated? How many metric tons, if you have an
like
idea?
the recent one is about 15 million metric tons, something like that. So what was delivered is what, I don't know how much, but what was delivered was more than enough. And even if, let's say, they donated 10 bags, how many people are given 10 bags for free? So that's a question that we need to know, that
it's okay.
it was
The
donated,
question would
but it was
be,
sold, irrespective of the number.
compared with what the country consumes and what was donated, did we give it out for free or even selling it? And after it was depreciated, whatever that word that Gashagwa uses, after we used what we were given, what was the deficit, and how much could you be knowing the government spent to add
So that is a question of accountability, and that is what the ministry should be telling you. And any government or any organization that is operating in an opaque manner, the ones that want to run away from accountability, they will never give you that kind of information. So if the government was so accountable, they will tell us that, okay, Russia gave us these bags, we've distributed these bags, na zimeisha. But as long as they're not telling you that, it tells you they don't want to be held responsible. They don't want the issues of accountability. So this is a government that you saw the other day. They don't want accountability. You saw the other day, let me just tell you this. We were having this, I'll use this as an example, the Cleo Malala tournament, the Cup. You saw how the prize money was given. It was, they carried it in cash. And actually, the person who brought it was given security. Were the teams winning given security? What about the security of the people who are winning these awards? Why were they doing so? They don't want accountability, whereby kutakuwa na checks zilisainiwa, waseme Malala alisaini check ya hii. They don't want to be followed up. You get it?
Beautiful sentiments, and I love how you're thinking, Bwana Leo. Mr. G, before you leave, I want to play this clip.
Mr. Geoffrey, just to respond to Geoffrey, free fertilizer, actually, it cannot reach free. There's transportation cost, but you need to tell people that what we are doing, this one was free, so I'm charging you for transportation. You don't tell them that the government has subsidized or the government has given you cheap fertilizer. If my uncle gives you a shirt to bring to me, you tell me your uncle donated this shirt to you and I've used 50 bob to send it by a parcel. You don't come and tell me you've bought me that shirt.
All right. Now, Mr. G, this is the question I want to ask you. But before I ask you, I want to play it so that our viewers can be in sync with the question I'm about to ask you. And it is as well a question I'm about to pose it to Captain. This is about Kenya being sued by Uganda.
Kenya to court as it seeks to change its fuel importation system and access the Kenya Pipeline Company's system for transportation of the commodity. Uganda has moved to the East African Court of Justice seeking to compel Kenya to allow it to import fuel under its new system, which designates Uganda's National Oil Company, or UNOC, as a sole importer of refined petroleum products, breaking a previous arrangement where Kenya's oil marketers sold fuel to Uganda's oil marketers. Now, in a suit filed in December 2023, Uganda has also taken exception to a high court decision temporarily blocking the granting of a license to UNOC by EPRA. Brenda Wanga with the details.
The tussle between Kenya and Uganda over the importation of Uganda's petroleum products has moved to the East African Court of Justice corridors. Uganda is suing Kenya over her refusal to allow it to use the Kenya Pipeline Company infrastructure to move its refined petroleum products from Mombasa port to Uganda under a new arrangement as directed by Uganda's cabinet.
Honorable members.
In the suit, Uganda accuses Kenya of denying its entity, the Uganda National Oil Company, the rights to operate as an oil marketing company, OMC, in Kenya. Uganda, through the UNOC, had sought to move fuel products through Kenya Pipeline, but was directed to register as an oil marketer by Kenya. Oil marketer in Kenya by the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority, a move that would allow UNOC to import and export petroleum products through Kenya and use the country's pipeline to do so. EPRA had asked UNOC to fulfill a number of requirements, including business registration certificates, identification documents for all directors, work permits, tax compliance certificates, proof of financial capability, including proof of sales of volumes of 6.6 million litres of super petrol, gas oil, or A1 jet oil or kerosene in Kenya, evidence of operating 5 licensed retail stations and operating a licensed depot with a turnover of $10 million over the last 3 years. UNOC could not provide all the required documents and found some of the requirements a burden, arguing that it was a fully state-owned company in Uganda that only sought to transport products through Kenya and had no intention of doing business in Kenya. It sought exemption, which Kenya said it would consider at cabinet level. A case filed at the Machakos High Court on the 7th of November 2023 that listed Royani Energy Limited as the first petitioner, Charles Kombo the second petitioner, John Kinuthia Mwangi and Acacia Ridge Construction as third petitioner against the Energy Cabinet Secretary, the Attorney General, the Director General of EPRA and UNOC sought to stop the granting of exemptions, with Justice Francis Rayola Olel granting conservatory orders against any such exemption for Uganda's National Oil Company, UNOC. Uganda, in its suits at the East African Court of Justice, holds Kenya's government responsible for this delay in granting exemptions. Uganda is seeking to have the licensing protocols imposed by EPRA on the UNOC declared irrelevant, irrational and illegal. Uganda, in the court documents, also accuses Kenya of going against the treaty for the establishment of the East African Community by restraining EPRA from issuing the OMC license to Uganda. It further wants the court to declare that the landlocked country does not require a license from EPRA to access the Kenya Pipeline Company's systems and transport petrol from Mombasa to Uganda, and finally, it wants Kenya to unconditionally accord UNOC, a service supplier of the Republic of Uganda, commercial terms for the use of the Kenya pipeline, no less favorable than it accords to other suppliers. And it also wants a permanent injunction issued against Kenya from imposing unrealistic restrictions to UNOC accessing the KPC. Uganda currently imports 90% of our refined petroleum products through the port of Mombasa and transports them to Uganda through the Kenya state-owned pipeline company, KPC. Uganda's petroleum product supply has been handled by the oil marketing company, OMCs, and through the government-to-government arrangements between Kenya and foreign governments adopted in early 2023 by Kenya, meaning that the OMCs operating in Kenya import petroleum products and in turn sell the same to Uganda's OMCs. Uganda argues that the complete reliance and dependency on Kenyan OMCs to import and supply petrol products to Uganda has exposed it to supply vulnerabilities, resulting in avoidable increases in fuel pump prices, hence the decision by Uganda to import directly through UNOC. But as Uganda waits for the case it has filed at the EAC to be heard and determined, it is expected to cease buying fuel from Kenyan OMCs after it entered into a 5-year contract with an Arab company that will now supply its entire fuel needs. Brenda Wanga.
Wow. Let me begin with you, Mr. G. What do you make of Uganda taking us to court? And now they want to do their business directly with the Arabs. Wametutoa kwa hiyo, we are no longer the brokers. Tulijigamba na G to G, now ni kama kitumbua sasa kimezidi kuingisha mchanga. What do you make of all this, Mr. G?
I think Uganda have noticed that there's something between the Arab country and Kenya ambao wamekuwa wakifichwa for a very long time, and hii kitu ni Kenya wamekataa kuwa, but Kenyans are not transparent to them, so that's why they want to do it themselves, at least to see how this. I think they know what happens, but they have come to a realization that there's something hidden, there's an hidden agenda between Kenya and Arabs and them, so they want this thing to be known. Na Kenya kama hawataki watu wajue nini kunaendelea. You know, Kenyans, most of them they are corrupt. These guys ambao wako pale, most of them they are corrupt. So always wanaenda pale Arabs wananunua mafuta, wakija the same way the Raila alituambia wana add more money above what is required. Sasa wanauzia Uganda with an extra charges. So say, sasa Waganda wamekasirika, they don't want this thing. It's extras in our cost. They don't want to pay this extra money. That's why they want to do it themselves direct. Lakini kumbuka Wakenya wamekataa. Mpaka wanaambia price wapatie certificate. Why? Kwa sababu hawataki hawa jamaa kuja wagundue hii siri. Hii siri ambayo wanatumia. Yeah. The thing is Kenyans are so corrupt. Na wamekataa kufanya vitu transparency. That's why it is costing us. The transparency ambayo iko Kenya ni kidogo sana kwa mtu ambaye anafanya nao business. They want to eat everything. Hawataki kujua kama watu wengine wanaumia ama nini, as much as wamepata pesa au wanataka tu wanyakue. So that's why hata tumepoteza these people, kwa sababu most of them wameamua kwenda in Tanzania way, the Ugandan people wameamua waende upande wa Tanzania wafanye nao huko business. Kwa sababu gani? Kwa sababu in Kenya there's no transparency, everything ni mashida, ni conmanship inaendelea sana in Kenya.
Well, Captain, what do you make of us being taken to court by Uganda?
You know, this thing, Jake says, is becoming very difficult to understand, because even the other day, Ugandans they were telling us now we are moving our oil from Mombasa to Tanzania and then to Uganda. So now again they are taking Kenya to court over the same issue. I don't know where the problem is. Not forgetting that William Ruto are friends with Museveni. According to the conditions that they have given there, I think they should have their own license to operate, or what? Maybe I don't know. Let us look it under that point of view, whereby Ruto and Museveni, they are together. When they will have that license to operate by themselves, how will it be? How will it be? We have to check that one. Naona Uganda hata kwanza hapo kwa license ndio watakuja kutukalia kichwa hapo. Hii kutupeleka East Africa Community hii ni kufumba macho hii. We have to look on that thing very well, because now the Uganda themselves, they be operating in the country. The name of their license to run their own oil, whatever. I saw somebody saying who is maintaining the pipes and all whatever. Yeah, itakuwa shida kwa serikali ku maintain pipes kama ameshapewa license. And that is what I know Chirchiri wants Uganda to run by themselves. They bring fuel from Maju, huko Saudi or whatever, Waarabu huko. From Mombasa, Kenya itawauzia hapo. Uganda wanafanya mambo yao, Kenya wanapeleka mafuta yao. Bado hii case ni mbichi. Hebu tu discuss vizuri.
Mr. Leo, what do you make of Kenya being sued? Because so far our country tumeanza kuwa na challenges, including with our own neighbors. What are you making of such? Uganda used to be or is the leading exporter to Kenya. Kenya tunauzia vitu mingi. It's number 1 in the world. The first place Kenya is leading ni Uganda. Huko tunapeleka karibu kila kitu. Yeah. Yeah, sasa ni kana kwamba they have now learned the ropes. They want to do it differently. What do you make of this?
You know what is happening? We have some poor foreign relationships with their neighbors. Kenya is a bully, and apart from being bully, we are having some under deals that at the national level, Uganda are not ready to play in our games. They are not ready to be part of it, or they are not ready to face the consequences. Like all of a sudden, from nowhere, we decided to sign a G2G way with some Warabu. And the reason why we signed it, we were told that it is going to lower the pressure that is on the dollars, and we will now be paying with the Kenyan shilling. So, Jex, what you'd ask yourself, what are these Arabs going to do with the Kenyan shilling? What are these Arabs going to do with our Kenyan currency? So what was happening that people don't understand is that the deal was, the Arabs are they are so wise. The deal was that the Arabs will be paying this fuel on our behalf. You get that? Then we will, it's like they're giving us loan. Then we will have to pay them later. So they knew very well that by the time they are going to pay on our behalf, the amount that we agreed on, by that time we'll find that our dollar rate had some value. Now that our currency has lost value, so actually we are paying more than what was in the agreement, because the payment was supposed to be made in dollars. By that time, we needed 120 Kenyan shillings to get $1. So now for us to pay them their $1 that they paid on our behalf, we need 160 Kenyan shilling. These are some calculations that when you go to a church and talk to people who've gone for spiritual nourishment, who've not gone for physical nourishment, they will not be able to understand. Instead, they will clap to you. So they will. That is why these things that you see the Ndindi Nyoro and William Ruto are doing, they can only do it in a church. I don't blame the people who are there. When I go to a church, Jex, that day I don't even eat, because I say today I'm going for the spiritual food. So imagine I'm in the spiritual world and somebody is coming to tell you some things that are so complex like that. You will always believe them. So what has happened, Uganda taking us that, is just to show that we don't have some good relationships. We cannot be able to treat our neighbors fairly. But at the end of the day, we are the ones who are going to lose, because Uganda really pay a lot of money. They pay a lot of money for their fuel to pass through the Kenyan pipes. They maintain it. So if Ugandans are not taking it, so who is going to pay that money? So we stand to lose. We ordered more oil, knowing that it was an agreement of 6 months or so. So this oil that we ordered, we factored in the market Uganda, that they're also going to consume it. So now we are going to have excess. The price is top there. Remember, you have excess and the price is also top. Where are we going to dump it? So Ugandans are also going to teach us a lesson, that we learn to treat our neighbors well. Hii mambo ya ukora ni kama wamekataa.
Now, as much as mambo ya ukora wamekataa. Yeah.
Jex, let me add something before I leave on what Leo has said. You know,
no, before you
the
leave,
problem
there's
is
another
that,
topic I want you to talk about immediately after you're through.
Okay. Let me just add something. Let me just add something in a minute. To add something in a minute, you know, it's not that I'm against Uganda. I'm against Kenya refusing Uganda to kuja kufanya kazi hapa wenyewe. Me, what I want Kenya to be transparent, so that we can do the. You know, this thing affected us in clearing. We used to do everything for them. Tunatumia our own system ya KRA, the Simba system, and everything. We used to do it everything here. Tunapeka mpaka pale border, Malaba border ama Busia border, and then Uganda wanachukulia pale. But they came and learned something, wakaamua kuintroduce their own system, which is called Askuda. Kwa sahi Waganda wameleta their URA team ndio wanafanya hiyo kazi, hata Wakenya hawafanyi. In fact, Kenya hata hawaguzi hiyo system yao ya Waganda. Sasa Waganda wamepoteza, Wakenya wamepoteza kazi kwa sababu Waganda wameamua kufanya hiyo kazi wenyewe hapa in Kenya. We lost it. Sasa inakuwa system ya Waganda, wanafanya Waganda wenyewe, wanatuma watu wao hapa, wanakuja wanafanya, watu wa revenue wanafanya kazi yao mpaka wafikishe mzigo wao kule. So for me, I will wish to see Kenya being transparent to them, so that we can do our job. Wacha watu tukulie mzigo pale Malaba. But this means we need to be transparent. Sisi hatujakuwa transparent to these people. That's why they're not trusting us. Wanataka wafanye kazi yao wenyewe. But I will pray that we be transparent to them so that we can do the job. Kwa sababu Veneleo amesema that is true. Wakati watachukua hiyo kazi wafanye wenyewe, we are the one losing. Sisi ndo tunapoteza kabisa. Kabisa we are losing.
Interesting. As much as Uganda has decided to do that now, I think during the end of the year and the beginning thereof, US has done something to Uganda. And in the year 2000, around May, the United Nations, through a Congress, passed a legislation that approved Africa, especially those on sub-Saharan economies, to have something called AGOA. AGOA stands for African Growth Opportunity Act. That was a legislation passed in the United States. Uganda and Kenya and many other countries were in it. But funny enough, Biden amefanya ile kitu. Listen in, and then I'll have my panelists discuss this, even as some decide to run because of early morning errands. But listen to this before we talk about it.
Biden has officially removed Uganda and 3 other African countries from the beneficiaries of the African Growth and Opportunity Act, AGOA, effectively ending Kampala's ability to export certain commodities to the U.S. duty-free. In a decree dated the 29th of December, President Biden said he has determined that the 4 countries do not meet the requirements necessary to allow them to continue benefiting from the trade deal, effecting his earlier stated plans to remove them from the list of beneficiaries. In an October 2023 letter to the Speaker of the U.S. Congress expressing his intention to remove the 4 countries from the list of AGOA beneficiaries, Biden said Uganda has, and I quote, engaged in gross violations of internationally recognized human rights. This came after Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni assented to the anti-gay law passed by the Ugandan lawmakers, which introduced serious repercussions, including life imprisonment or death for same-sex relations in the country. Uganda's expulsion from the deal could destroy thousands of jobs because a foreign exchange earnings drought and low utilization of raw material locally, as warned by experts.
All right. Now, wanataka kujitegemea, already wametolewa kwa AGOA. And Kenya wali play safe. The courts of Kenya wali allow LGBTQ to, they are free to, to register the organization. Uganda, they passed a law to criminalize LGBTQ. Now, because of that, and other reasons, Biden amewafanya ile kitu. Sasa, wametupeleka kotini, and they're having a very serious challenge about to happen in their country. I don't know if we are even qualified to talk about this, but who do I begin with? Let me begin with Leo. Leo, what do you make of that?
No,
and then I'll come to
they don't have problems. Actually, that is evident, and Museveni was aware. The only problem that the US is having is that when you fail to follow their culture, when you fail to follow their culture, inappropriate culture, then they give you some sanctions that are not worth. They want to get involved in their spoiled culture or in their bad manners. So immediately you have a stand on it, then they will try to intimidate you. It is the nature of America. They didn't start it today. But Museveni told them that, you see, you guys, I will not allow a culture that is not African in Uganda. Even it means we will die in Uganda, but let us die. We will not kneel down. So what US is doing, I think that is the only thing that I normally agree with Museveni. He is a true African. Forget about this fake Pan-Africanist. He believes that we are having our culture, we are having how we behave in our society and our moral values. So somebody who wants that for me to help you, you have to think and behave like me. I think that is a backward mentality. It's like, I want to employ you, and before I employ you, you have to subscribe to my beliefs. That is my religion and my way of life. And if you don't want, then you go. So Museveni chose, wacha sisi tukae njaa than worshipping Americans. You know what happened in our country? we had to involve the court because we knew that our constitution speaks and defines marriage as a union between adult male and female. So we had to get an interpretation in the court, which was done at a weird hours. Then the next day we were given grants. And still with those grants, are we better than Uganda? Have you seen Ugandans demonstrating with sufurias on their head? No, because they have food. So we are having all these visas to America. We are having all these permissions to fly and land in any part of America, lakini bado tunalala njaa. As our neighbors saying, tunaongea chungu mingi na hatuna chakula. So for that, I stand with Museveni for standing with the African culture and the African moral values. So when history will be written of African moral values and beliefs, we will spare a page for one, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, that he was a true African believer who believed in Africa and believed in African solutions.
Mr. G, what do you make of this? What do you make of this?
You know, I will agree with what Leo has said. You know, Mr. Jakes, Uganda does not need USA for anything. Uganda, first of all, is a fertile land. Work on a food enough. They don't need these people. Another thing I stand with Uganda is that I told you guys that I am a Christian. I believe in the Bible. You know, wakati wa Isaac, wa Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that time ilikuwa was for support what those evil people walikuwa na believe in. Walikuwa izeda uchomwe ama uliwe. But Shadrach, Isaac, and Abednego, they decided it's better waingie kwa moto waungue, lakini wawezi worship a devil, wawezi worship shetani. So when we compare it with the situation in Uganda, Uganda wamesimama na principles za Mungu. Wamesema they don't believe in hii mambo ya ushoga, hii mambo ya LGBTQ. So they will worship God. They will stand the right principle. Why can't we follow Uganda principles? Tuamue kusimama na principles zetu. Why should we please these people? And yet tunajua kwa tunaingia kwa shida, tunajiingiza kwa shida, but we are going to please them kwa sababu tunawaogopa, kwa sababu tunataka kile msaada kwetu. Uganda, they don't need USA. Na pia sisi hatuhitaji USA. But for us, sasa tumekuwa wajinga, tunataka kuwa slaves to them. Uganda, they will survive. Leo amekwambia hakuna siku ambaye demonstrate, and you never find somebody dying of anger in Uganda kwa sababu food iko kila mahali. The land is fertile, everything's there. Shida tu ni kuwa education yao, most of them kwa wasomi kwa sababu everything is in there. Unapata most of them they illiterate. Hawendi shuleni kwa sababu chakula iko, kila kitu iko. Sasa sometimes wengine kwa hawajali, but some people pia wanasoma kule. Si watu wako illiterate, some people wanasoma. But what I'm saying ni kuwa I stand with Uganda. Uganda walikata mambo ya LGBTQ and that is the consequences. And the consequences is that it will never yeah, there are consequences, but they will never affect them. Hata affect Uganda ataendelea vizuri sana. But for we Kenyans, sisi tunajiona siji tuna shida gani? Hii shida ya kubembeleza watu ndio inatuingiza kwa mashida mingi ambayo tunajipata ndani.
Okay, I don't know if Mr. Captain is in a okay. Mr. Captain, AGOA allows countries to trade with the US. You know, you can trade with the US, you can send your products there. And of course, that's how you grow your economy, because you'll use their dollar. Right now, we are complaining about the dollar. What you can imagine if we cannot trade with the US, what will it mean for an economy? What
is
do you
it
think
us or Uganda?
Uganda ndo ametolewa.
No, actually, what is Uganda taking to US? That is the question. Even Kenya, what do we take to US? What does US buy from us actually?
Well, and the next question
like China, what do we sell to US?
Do you know?
And the next question before that, what was the agreement when they agreed that they are taking things there tax free? Was it that if you don't sell them, move you? Was that the agreement?
What do we sell to US? What do we take to US apart from taking for them people through green cards? What else do we give them that they pay us back?
Wow, now
they're the ones who are picking.
I don't want to be backward by ignorance.
They survive without us. There is
ignorance.
Brain drain. We train nurses here in Kenya, then they go and work in America. We train engineers here, they go and work outside there. We train and mold people with good morals like keep here, then they go in foreign countries.
I think even Leo Nyabaya, you are going very far. You are going very far. We train drivers like Asmo Joy. and they go and work in America. They don't have even engineers. We are going far to engineers, and yet even drivers.
We even do for them exams before the artificial intelligence. Our Form 2 dropouts were doing for them exams in the Nairobi River Road cyber. So what else do we get from them actually? We write their thesis here. We do their projects here. So what else do we get from them?
I'm laughing because you guys have no clue what AGOA is. So I'm laughing because
James, let me
you
tell
are
you,
talking from an ignorant state, and because of that, I want to go to another topic.
Jofi is talking of textile. Which textile do we take there? Na tunanunua mtumba, nguo wameshavaa huko. Which textile do we sell to them?
Yes.
Textile. Umeona cotton sahi in Kenya.
Let me be fair to our viewers. Allow me to allow you guys prepare on that topic, because talking from ignorance, you'll be bubbled out up because you are seriously clueless.
No. There's this mentality that we make these people appear so superior, Jakes. Outside here,
it's not about
if you hear there's brain drain in Africa, they get all the experts from our countries after we've trained our nurses.
All right.
Wanakimbia, wanaenda America, wanaenda Canada, wanaenda Australia. Sisi tunabaki hapa, hatuna madaktari, but we've trained them. Actually, instead of paying the health loan yenye walichukua hapa, they go away. We train drivers, wanajifunza kuendesha hapa Kayole, Rough Road, wanaburuka, wanaenda huko. Even pastors. Actually, there's a higher percentage of pastors who are Kenyans or Africans in America because so those guys need us more than we need them.
Now, maybe to understand AGOA, you need to go back, understand what is COMESA, what is IGAD, and what AGOA means. To understand that, I think
those are paper meanings. We are talking of now practical.
Okay, now allow me to finish.
Who does not understand AGOA here?
From where you sit, what is AGOA? What does it do?
It has been said even by the panelists on the
comment section. Not what has been said. Yeah. What does it do? I'm talking to you.
You export the things to America tax free. You want me to put it in all those AGO or whatever? You want me to put that? It is less concern even about me, because if they continue doing what they are doing to Ugandans, we'll export border guys to America, and they have to agree. You see?
All right.
No, we don't have to abuse this to more respect, to be respectful to US like I don't know, second code or what. We can go back even to discuss Uganda and Tanzania and Kenya, this thing of oil, than discussing things. Sasa ndizi walikuwa Uganda wanapeleka ndizi, walitufungia maua. Sasa tunapeleka UK maua, inaenda vizuri sana.
All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I want to go to something else. Mr. G, I know you have an early morning. It's already 12:30 in Kenya. I understand you if you'd would wish to leave, but what would be your remarks even as you exit?
Okay, I think I'll stand with my guys the way they have said that we should not worship these guys, people ambao wana believe in LGBTQ. Wakati you go against what they believe in, wanakuwa ni punished. So for us, we need to stand up. We have some things that we believe in, and so we should not please these people by tuache our culture, tuache what we know that is right, kwa sababu we want to please these people. No, we should not please these people. Okay, my last remark on what we have discussed, I think we as Kenyans, I should talk about the revolution, because revolution is where everything starts from. Our country is ripe for revolution. But now the problem is that we guys, sisi watu, sijui kama hatuko ready, because everything, the circumstance and everything is ripe for revolution. But now we people, I don't know if we can take it the way we want. Kwa sababu niliona jana, was it yesterday ama the other day, wakati wale vijana walishikwa wakisema wakitajwa kuwa ni Mungiki, wale vijana wa Kikuyu wale walishikwa wakikuwa painted kuwa ni Mungiki, and yet they are not Mungiki. Lakini pia wale vijana wakati walishikwa akiwa pale kwa cell, niliwaona wakiwa wanalia sana, wanalilia president, wanasema president akuja wasaidie, wanalilia sijui nani akuja wasaidie, Gachagua akuja wasaidie. So wakati unashikwa alafu unaanza kulialia hivyo, that means that you are not ready for revolution. Mtu kama huyu jamaa kwanga Rasta, huyu siku hizi ni mzee sana, the Rasta man alikuwa anaitwaje? Kuna huyu Rasta ambaye amesafa sana kwa jela na kina Raila, lakini sasa ametulia baada kina Koigi Mwere. Those are the people walikuwa wanashikwa, wanapigwa mpaka wanafinywa, lakini hata sababu mtu yoyote, hata lilia mtu yoyote. They believed in revolution, they believed in what they wanted to happen in Kenya. But sisi sasa tunasema tunataka revolution, wakati wameshikwa tu kidogo, wanafinywa kidogo, wanaanza kulia, president kuja tusaidie, Gachagua kuja tusaidie. That means that hao jamaa hakuna revolution tutakuwa nayo. So we need to be serious, a bit serious, ndio tufanye hii revolution.
Okay. Thank you so much. I want to discuss kidogo to your story, Mr. Maina Jenga, and I want to look at it in so many angles. Now, I begin with you, Mr. Leo. Why is it that now, and you said this earlier in your opening remarks, that these were guys branded hustlers, branded boda, branded boda guys and all, but now, and you said it depends when we use them. When you are using them to do something, they can also be branded as business community. Why is it that now, when Maina Jenga is using them, the likes of Gachagua feels jilted and they are all over crying wolf? What do you make of it?
Okay. Maybe just to remind you that Maina Njenga is not using these guys. These are, what is happening is that the Kenya Kwanza, the groups like Gachagua, they are really scared and promising these guys a lot of things, and they've realized they're not able to fulfill this. They're not going to fulfill it today or tomorrow. So what happens if somebody has promised you something and you see them feeling well, enjoying life, things is okay on their side, but things are not well, you are likely to revolt. So they fear that people might revolt. There might be a revolution. People might turn against them because you promised them jobs and the jobs are not there. So how do you stop them? Then all of a sudden comes somebody who is speaking a language that these guys can relate to. Comes somebody who is reminding them how they were promised things and it never happened, who is reminding them of their pain. So they are likely to leave you and follow this person who is reminding them of their pain. Maina Njenga is not there to give a solution to the youths who are unemployed in Mount Kenya, but he's there to remind the youths of their pain. So the youths are likely to listen to that person who is reminding them of their pain. And what will happen after that? They are going to start hating the person whom they believed was going to stop their pain and have failed to put to an end that pain. That is the same platform that propelled William Ruto close to presidency or to presidency. He kept on reminding Kenyans that, you people are hustlers. You people are poor. You people are poor because of this government. So Maina Njenga is also using the same script and using the same youth that they've been using. It is not the first time that Maina Njenga is also using these youths. They were there before the 2007 elections. So when the youths were used to protect the presidency of Mwai Kibaki, and Mwai Kibaki could not absorb them, he devised a way with the then Minister Michuki to eliminate them or stop them. And to stop them, they were branded an illegal outfit called Mungiki. Though I think you know what Mungiki means. Yeah, it's a term that has got some good meaning rather than what has been sold to us outside there. So that was an opportunity. Not that the people who suffered were the people who are members of Mungiki. Any idle youth, any youth who was unemployed was now branded Mungiki. You are found in the stage resting there, in Mungiki. So the same script, the same thing is also going to happen. Now that the Kenya Kwanza are not able to give the 1 million jobs, majority of the people who voted for William Ruto if maybe we can be sincere with ourselves and say who you voted, majority are youths. They're the ones who are unemployed. They're the ones who had hopes. So once you brand them Mungiki, number one, you are going to sell some fear to the youths who are idle there. You are not Mungiki. But because they say Mungiki is somebody mwenye amefuga nywele, Mungiki is somebody mwenye ana kazi, anarandaranda, amekaa kwa stage, anaomba 10 bob, mtu akiingia kwa gari wanajaza gari. So these youths will be scared. So they will not even be able to hold demonstrations. Like right now, if you hold demonstration in central Kenya, they call you Mungiki and they arrest you. And the reason why those guys from the Luo Nyans are normally lucky, they are normally lucky because there are no such outfits. If there are such outfits in Luo Nyanza, then I'm telling you, the boys or the guys, the youth there would have been killed, all of them. They would have been eliminated. And right now, it's sad that the second in command, Gachagua, has launched a program that is going to eliminate guys or youths in Mount Kenya. Most people are going to be killed. Some are going to be arrested. Some are going to even to run away from the village because they fear being labeled Mungiki and getting arrested. It is bad. These were hustlers. Today they are not hustlers. They are Mungiki. These people at some time were used by Moses Kuria. They were called Nairobi businessmen. Today they are no longer businessmen. They are called Mungiki. So it is sad, and it is a lesson to the youth in Kenya that you need to know your destiny. You don't need to accept to be used each and every time. The government is now going for the people who put it in power, because if they don't stop them, then these people are going to remove the government from power. So it is upon youth to decide what they do with that kind of information. It's going to happen countrywide.
Now, we are yet to see any activity from Mongeke, but we saw the activities in Shakahola. How comes the government was unable to stop Shakahola, but it's working very hard to stop something that
the Shakahola were not threatening the government. Those people are in their own business without interfering with the government. But these guys called Mungiki, I've told you, they are the hustlers and they're the majority who voted. So anybody who wants to empower them mentally, not to empower them with physical things or economically, anybody who wants to empower their brains and calm them and tell them that nyinyi watu mulichezwa, they don't want it, because they will realize the truth. And once they realize that walichezwa, they will revolt. Raila has hinted that there are going to be demonstrations. And remember, these youths are the ones who demonstrate because hawana kazi. So they want these youths to keep on knowing that, you see, Raila ndio mbaya. So anytime they will know that kumbe huyu mtu tulipigia kura ndio mbaya, they will also join in demonstrations. And if you had the message that the president had at the beginning of the year and at the end of the year, it was strictly about maandamano and anybody trying to oppose the government. And is now extending it now to labeling even the judiciary that he believes is opposing the government. So it's really going to cost Kenyans to oppose this government. You need courage. You need to be somebody who decided that what come, let it be. That is when you'll be able to oppose this government. So the lukewarms will not be able to oppose the government. They are going to coil their tails and suffer for the next years waiting. So only the strong will have to survive this 2024. Sio mchezo.
Now, when you look at it again, Bwana Leo, what I was asking is, we are quick to fight Mungeke and all, Mainajenga, all everywhere else, but culprits of serious crimes, by the time tunawagundua, they have already committed great atrocities against our country, Shakahola being one of them. The scandal on sugar, the scandal on oil, the scandal on maize, we are yet to go against such people. But people who are yet to commit crime, I'm not saying that they should be allowed to commit crime, but why is it that we act selectively when it comes to how we handle crime in our country?
Has always been our nature. It's just because of lack of serious people in the office. It is been our nature, negligence of duties. We concentrate our energy on political issues rather than concentrating the energy on serious issues. And Kenyans have allowed their representatives to do that. Yeah.
All right. Now, even as I ask you to give me your closing remarks, what would be your sentiments, even as I wrap up?
Closing remarks is just to tell Kenyans that, okay, we've begun a new year. Let us not have high expectations on the government. Let us not put all our expectations that the government is going to maybe do for us. Nothing new is going to happen different from what happened in 2023. And if there's anything that is going to happen new, then it is going to be worse than what we saw in 2023. So we need to have the right gears. We need to know that this is a year. It's going to be a tough year. So we need to make some tough decisions at the beginning and lower our expectations so that we don't get disappointed. And to the youth, I think it is the moment that we need to take lessons and know that the Constitution gave us some power that we exercise after every 5 years. So whenever that time comes, we need to use this power well, and we need to use it soberly. Let not some short-term excitements like drinks or some cash that you're given make you destroy the entire 5 years, so that you remain suffering for 5 years simply because you are given some 2,000 or some 200 shillings. So let us make some long-term decisions, specifically when we are going to the ballot, something that we only get to do after 5 years. So that is all I have to say for today, and I wish this year gets better, and it will only turn better if we just be positive. We just be positive and be vigilant. We should not allow the government to exploit us that much, to an extent that people go on a paid demonstrations like the one I saw. Let us not allow the government to misuse us. They've already misused us. So let us tell the government that we are tired of these lies, and we push them so that they can work on the mandate that they were given. Just wish guys who are going to sleep some good night, and the ones waking up is another good morning.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Bwana Leo. Now, someone was asking me, Jana, about the morning show. Is it there? I told them maybe to begin from tomorrow. Please give us an update on that.
Okay, the morning show actually is to begin from tomorrow, but I'm sorry, apologies. Tomorrow it won't be there. I'm having some engagement, so we are going to start it officially on Thursday.
All right. Fantastic. Good year. You're asking about that. I hope you were answered. We begin officially on. We were having some chat, but we are about to make it permanent. So don't worry. We kidogo to challenge atukosange. All right. Bwana Captain, I didn't give you an opportunity to give us your closing remarks as well.
Okay, thank you very much, Jake, sir. Nilirushwa na network, I think. For now, for me, I don't have any other thing to say. Let's look for that PR with other countries that can benefit our people. Remember, some of our people, they are not in Kenya. And when we have a very bad relation with other countries, it affects some of us outside the country. So we should have that good public relations, especially in East Africa. That is Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, and all those the other countries that they joined the other day. Say that our people in other countries can be treated very well. Let us not fight our people when the government are fighting for the rights of their people. And for our people, let's do the right thing when we are given a position. There are some topics we need to discuss, like somebody. I saw it on the news that the clearance of, is it the one for Kimwarer? The clearance of him that he has no case. So where did the money go? Does it that the money just disappeared like that? Let's be honest on what we are doing, and it's still the same quote that we are talking about. Anyway, I'm just closing with that by saying that let's meet tomorrow. We'll discuss more about. Have a good night.
Yeah, good night, good morning to you. Bwana Penya Gaka, I equally didn't give you an opportunity to give your closing submission.
Yes, Mr. Jakes, we really appreciate you coming here and engaging some of us. Many of our views are very different. Congratulations. Now, Happy New Year, everybody. And Baya, Kapteni, everybody. You young people are really participating in institutions that we never had a chance to participate in. And this is only a good time that we can do that. And I wish you the best. The challenges that you guys are putting forward is really valid and very wonderful. So personally, I will say that it is a wonderful thing. Leo sisi tulikuja hapa America kitambo, when somebody came from Kenya, we only ran into where they stay and get the newspaper to read, because it would take another 2 weeks before we knew what was going on in Kenya. Today, it's an instant. The meeting that Ruto had with his group, we saw it just as you saw it, and that's a very wonderful thing. And you guys are some of the best, and I wish you the best. Thank you very much, Jex.
Asante sana Bwana Penya Gaka. Now, ladies and gentlemen, probably you are asking what have we been discussing. I'll be playing you just now what we have been discussing, what made the backbone of our entire show. We based it on the amount of confrontation, or rather the amount of anger William Ruto showcased today. We are basing our show on the war on judiciary. Now, this is the clip that informed this discussion.
Itabidi sasa tuwe na mjadala na watu ambao wanapeleka makesi kotini kuzuia maendeleo katika taifa letu la Kenya. Itabidi tuulizane maswali. Ni kweli ama si kweli? Yes, itabidi tuulizane maswali. Haiwezekani ya kwamba Kenya, maendeleo ambayo tumekuwa tukingojea miaka nyingi, mipango ambayo iko katika katiba ya Kenya, mipango imepitishwa katika bunge la Kenya, mipango ambayo wananchi wa Kenya wamepigia kura katika manifesto ya chama wamechagua, ati watu wachache, wawili watatu, wameenda kotini, wakahongana kotini, mpango hiyo ikasimamishwa. Barabara ikasimamishwa, universal health coverage inasimamishwa, mambo ya housing inasimamishwa. Lazima tuulizane, lazima tuwe na mjadala. We must ask ourselves, ama namna gani? Yes, lazima tuulizane maswali. Na ndio mimi nataka niseme, we are a democracy. We respect, we will protect the independence of the judiciary. What we will not allow is judicial tyranny and judicial impunity. That we will not allow. That will not happen. Haiwezekani ya kwamba wakati tunaheshimu uhuru wa mahakama, watu wachache, watu ambayo ni beneficiaries, kama wale beneficiaries ambao wamekuwa wakiiba pesa yetu pale NHIF, 50% ya pesa ya NHIF zinafujwa na mahospitali chache, wakora chache, fake hospitals, fake doctors, wanafuja pesa ya NHIF. Tumesema ya kwamba tunabadilisha sheria. Hawa wabunge wamebadilisha sheria. Mimi nimeweka kidole, imekuwa sheria ya Kenya, kwamba sasa tutabadilisha vile mambo ya NHIF inaenda mbele, ili tuzuie pesa ya umma isipotee. Tukawa na digital health bill ambayo sasa itaweka a digital system that will protect resources that are meant for health in Kenya. Alafu watu wachache ambao wamekuwa wakiiba hiyo pesa wameenda wakatafutana na corrupt judicial officials, wakapanga njama ati wazuie ndio waendelee kuiba pesa ya NHIF, nusu ya pesa ya NHIF. I want to tell you my friends, hiyo haiwezi kuendelea. Sijui kama tunaelewana. Mimi nataka niwaulize, mnataka pesa ya hospitali iendelee kuibiwa na watu wachache ati kwa sababu wameenda kotini kwenda kuhonga judge? Bana. No. Hiyo hapana. Hawa watu mimi nataka niwatangazie mapema ya kwamba mambo ya watu wachache, people with vested interest, people who are beneficiaries of the corruption in the former NHIF, ganging up with corrupt judicial officials to stall the program that is going to make it possible for ordinary citizens to access health care, so that a few corrupt characters, hospitals, fake doctors can continue to steal from NHIF. I want to tell them it will not happen in Kenya again, and we will stop it. We support the independence of the judiciary, but corrupt judicial officials working with those who vested interests that are benefiting from money stolen from NHIF, who want to perpetuate judicial tyranny and judicial impunity, we will deal with them. We will fight with them. We will not allow them. They will not go far. Mimi nataka niwatangazie mapema. Mimi ni mtu ambaye naamini mahakama. I respect the judiciary. I respect the independence of the judiciary. But I also believe that the judiciary cannot be abused by a few corrupt judicial officials. Imagine niwaulize hata wale watu wako mahakamani. Niwaulize. Katiba ya Kenya, Article 43, inasema inalazimu serikali kuprovide housing that is decent to citizens. Inalazimu serikali kuprovide the highest standards of healthcare. Inalazimu serikali kupanga ajira ya vijana wa Kenya. Katiba ya Kenya. Hawa wa Kenya mamilioni walienda kwa debe wakapigia kura manifesto ambayo iko na program ya housing, iko na program ya universal health coverage, iko na program ya ajira ya vijana. Bunge wakaenda wakapitisha budget, iko na mpango ya housing, iko na mpango ya universal health coverage, iko na mpango ya kupanga ajira ya vijana. Ati alafu watu wachache ambao ni beneficiaries ya ukora wanaenda kotini, wanaenda kutaka kusimamisha hiyo kazi yote, ati vijana wetu waendelee kurandaranda wasipate ajira. Ati wa Kenya tusiwapunguzie hawa wenye mapato ya chini kutoka 500 mpaka 300, waendelee kulipa 500 na wao waendelee kuiba hiyo pesa. Ati wa Kenya waendelee kuishi kwa slums. Ati wa Kenya wasipate nyumba. Na hawa ambao wako kotini ni watu wako na medical insurance inalipwa na Wakenya. Wako na magari inalipwa na Wakenya. Wako na housing inalipwa na Wakenya. Je, huo ni ungwana? Hapana. Hiyo hapana. Our judiciary, we respect you, but judicial impunity by corrupt judicial officers must stop in Kenya. We will stop it. And whatever it takes. Kwa sababu sasa hawa wananchi wanataka kujiuliza, ile barabara ya Ihithe mnataka tujenge ama mnataka tungoje mpaka judiciary watuambie tujenge? Judiciary wanasema tusijenge. Mnataka tujenge Nijenge hiyo barabara ama tungojee hawa watu? Tujenge barabara? Bwana Mbogwa, wewe bwana PS, weka pesa ya hiyo barabara tuanze kujenga. Ndio. Tuache kusumbuana kwa sababu the judiciary must be answerable to the must submit itself to the constitution and to the people of Kenya. Ama namna gani? Mimi rais na hawa wabunge wote ambao tumechaguliwa, sisi we submit to the people of Kenya, we go to elections, we are tunapigiwa msasa, yule ambaye amekosa anafukuzwa, yule mwingine anapatiwa kazi. Si ni kweli? Sisi wote tunakubaliana. So I want to tell all of us, those of us who are leaders in the judiciary, those of us who are leaders in the executive, those of us who are leaders in the legislature, we are all subject to the constitution and the people of Kenya are sovereign. Tumekubaliana? Mimi nataka niwaulize watu wa Nyandarua, hii program ya housing ambayo itapatia vijana hapa Nyandarua kazi 5,000. Niendelee naye ama ningojee hawa watu watupatie ruhusa? Tuendelee. Ile program ambayo tumepitisha iko kwa katiba ya Kenya. Katiba inasema kila Mkenya, na katiba ndio supreme, haikuandikwa na rais, katiba iliandikwa na Wakenya. Si ni kweli? Katiba inasema every Kenyan is entitled to the highest standards of healthcare. Number one. Number two, hawa Wakenya walienda kupiga kura. Katika ile manifesto kulikuwa na mambo ya universal health coverage. Ya tatu, bunge wameenda wakapitisha sheria 4 ya kuhakikisha kwamba mambo ya universal health coverage inasonga mbele, na wananchi wale wako chini tunapunguza gharama yao kutoka 500 mpaka 300, na tunahakikisha ya kwamba hakuna Mkenya tena ataenda kuuza mali yake ili aende kulipa hospitali, hata kama ni ugonjwa wa saratani, hata kama ni ugonjwa wa diabetes, hata kama ni ugonjwa wa hypertension. Sasa kwa mara ya kwanza kila Mkenya ataenda hospitali atibiwe na aende nyumbani bila ya kulipishwa pesa. Alafu hiyo program yote, kuna watu wakora wachache wameenda kotini wakakutana na wengine wakora huko kotini ati wasimamishe waendelee kuiba pesa ya mambo ya afya. Hiyo mnataka tungojee hiyo maneno? Tuendelee na hii program ya universal health coverage? Tupunguze ile nini, tuendelee nayo? Bas, sasa maneno ndio hiyo. Sasa wakitaka kuuliza wakuja waulize wananchi.
Wow, fantastic. And ladies and gentlemen, with that, wow, you could almost palpate his anger. Wow. It was so palpable. Today, ameamua we liwalo na liwe. And his anger is out there. I don't know. This is about to make the next conversation in the next couple of days. This is a man who has said he was given the sword. He will definitely use it. This is a man today who has said, you know what? Mumeenda kotini hata nyinyi sana. Kio Mtata and the likes. Mumeenda kotini sana. Sana. Na nyinyi majudges mumenisimamishia vitu nyingi sana. But from today, from today, in fact, kuna jamaa ameambiwa hapo PS, I think ni huyo wa barabara, ameambiwa aeke pesa, the stall project zianze kufanyiwa kazi mara moja. Do you remember who used to say umefutwa kazi mara moja? You remember that person? Wow. All right, now allow me to end with this joke. Alikuwa anafuta kazi ama unapandishwa kazi mara moja. So allow me to end this show with this joke. But thank you, before I end the show, thank you very much to you guys who have constantly supported us. We are getting very positive feedback from Facebook, from YouTube, because of how you guys have supported Africa 24. Asante for subscribing. Asante for making this channel trend at times at #1. Thank you very much. We are asking you to consider subscribing to Africa 24. Make this your #1 channel for content such as this and many more. Subscribe. Kimbia for YouTube. Subscribe. Make this your #1 channel. All right. Allow us to be the guys who entertain you, give you content like this and many more. I wish you a fantastic year 2024 here at Africa 24. We shall see you through it all. Tutatembea na wewe huu mwaka and pole tutakuletea vitu mingi, vitu kali, vitu fiti. So ungana nasi. Jinsi ya kutusupport ni kusubscribe. Subscribe to Africa 24. Make this your #1 channel. I end this show with this joke. I played it jana and someone requested I play it again. So allow me to play it even as we wrap up. God bless you. Have a fantastic year 2024 here at Africa 24. We wish you a very prosperous 2024. Have the very best that this year can give. We wish you good health. We wish you wealth. We wish you the very, very best from God above. May He watch over you. May He bless your water. May He bless your food. May He bless your coming and going. May He bless you with wealth. May He bless you with health. May He bless you with new blessings to count each day of 2024. And as Africa, we shall be with you every single day of each counting blessing. All right, we count you a blessing to be part of Africa 24. Subscribe to Africa 24 and let us make this show a big show. Let us make this channel a big show. Support us even as we grow together. This is our year as Africa 24, and as well this is your year as supporter of Africa 24. Asante sana. God bless you. God do you well. I wish you a fantastic year 2024. This was the war on judges. We just have wrapped it up, but we have another show tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Same place. Catch us tomorrow at 10 p.m. See you guys. Have a fantastic night, a fantastic morning, a fantastic afternoon. Your war on judges has come to an end. Good night. Goodbye. Bye-bye. God bless you.
Nilimwambia mimi hadithi moja iliyosema kana msichana na mvulana anamwambia msichana, I love you, I can even jump over the fire. Naambia I can jump over the cliff. Yale kaka na akaandika chini akasema, I'll see you on Saturday if it does not rain. Sasa mnajua mapenzi gani hiyo? Kama hawezi kuja tu kwa mvua.
If I kissed my wife in public, I will lose all the elections in Uganda. Because Africans don't show what is private. They don't show it in public. If you want to kiss, you know the address of kissing, where it is.
Tunasonga mbele watu wote wa Jamhuri Kenya yetu. Tunasonga mbele watu wote wa Jamhuri Kenya yetu. Haya sisi sote wananchi tushangilie. Kwa Jamhuri, kwa Jamhuri, sote kwa Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. Kwa Jamhuri, sote kwa Jamhuri, kwa Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. Mwaka wa 60 umefika, tangu Kenya iwe huru. Mwaka wa 60 umefika, tangu Kenya iwe huru. Haya sisi sote wananchi tushangilie. Kwa Jamhuri, kwa Jamhuri, sote tunajivunia Kenya nchi yetu, kweli yapendeza, kweli yavutia. Kenya nchi yangu nitaitoloza, nitailinda maishani mwangu. Kenya nchi yangu nitaitoloza, nitailinda maishani mwangu. Ziwa la Victoria linaunganisha Kenya na Uganda, Kenya na Tanzania. Fika Mombasa, mito wa bahari, ogelea maji, jua tamu kuota. Kenya nchi yangu nitaitoloza, nitailinda maishani mwangu. Kenya nchi yangu nitaitoloza, nitailinda maishani mwangu.
PPMC Production.
Tushangilie Kenya, taifa letu tukufu, Kenya tunayoipenda, Kenya nchi tunayoipenda, Kenya nchi tunayoipenda, twajivunia sana tukiji